Yay, we're live. I always have fun whenever I see that we've had a successful connection. I mean, eventually our connection gets broken because my internet is trash, but you know, the initial connection, I like to see that that works. So, Happy New Year, everybody. How are you doing? I hope that you managed to survive the first 3 days of the new year, 4, depending on where you're at. I'm okay. I'm okay. Um, I'm not really one of those people who's big on New Year's resolutions and stuff like that. So I wasn't expecting anything big to happen in 2019. It's just more, hey, Happy New Year. It's just more trying to make promises of my to myself to be better in the year coming, and so that's what I always look forward to for the new year, and not being disappointed that maybe what I promised myself last year didn't happen. Last year I didn't really make too many promises to myself. I promised myself that I was going to move into a new apartment, and I did. So I mean, that was the main thing. Oh, the one thing I promised myself, Happy New Year. The one thing I did promise myself last year that I wasn't able to accomplish, I promised myself that I was going to do 3 K-pop concerts in 2018, and I only did 2. However, I had to go out of town for an emergency trip, and so that took the funds that I was going to use for K-pop concerts for 2018. And so yeah, if I had not had to do that, I would have gone to the 3 concerts and I would have fulfilled my one big New Year's resolutions. But as it stands, I have 2 main resolutions for 2019. The first resolution is I'm going to try to eat less meat. I have not had any meat since Sunday, I believe. And I'm trying to eat as much nuts, plants, whole grains, stuff like that as I can. And it's not because of the animals. I mean, not saying I don't care about animals, but it's one of those things where I just want to do better for my health. And I feel like I just eat too much meat. Like when you go to a restaurant, there's always like a huge portion of meat and like a small portion of vegetables, a small portion of carbs. I just want to do better by my body. So that's my main resolution. And then my second resolution is I want a fucking dating scandal this year, guys. After watching Kai and Jenny like shake the internet with their dating scandal, I want me one. So let's see what happens. If anybody's got an uncle who's looking for a wife, point him in my direction. I'm open-minded. Size, nationality. The only thing I'm really not negotiable on is maybe prison status, but everything else I'm negotiable on. So let's see. Will you be seeing Red Velvet? 2 is still a great number of concerts. Thank you. I want to see Red Velvet, but at the same time, I have plans to see another concert, and in order to pay for that concert, I can't pay for Red Velvet. I wish I could see them though. I have seen Red Velvet live before though. One of the concerts I went to last year, I went to the Korean Times Music Festival in Los Angeles, and Red Velvet actually performed Peekaboo at that arena event space. They did Peekaboo, they did Red Flavor, they did Dum Dum. So I've actually seen Red Velvet performing live, and I have to say, Red Velvet performing live, they're, I guess, comfortable enough as a unit that the performance really does give a very participatory feeling, but Seulgi kills the stage. Like, she is absolutely my bias for a reason. I could not take my eyes off of that girl. I just really love her. I love her, I love her, I love her. And because I love the soundtrack to that kind of era of Peekaboo, Bad Boy, stuff like that, it would have been great for me to be able to see Red Velvet when they came to the States, because they would have performed Bad Boy and Peekaboo and Really Bad Boy, and, you know, they would have done Power Up. But yeah, those 3 songs, I would love to have seen them. Hopefully they'll do a concert in Korea and release it on DVD, and maybe, fingers crossed, if they do a concert in Korea and they do a DVD, I'll get to see a live performance of Kingdom Come. That is absolutely my favorite Red Velvet song of all time. I did not know that it was going to be when it came out, but in the weeks and months since that album has come out, Kingdom Come is like the ultimate pinnacle of what Red Velvet is for me. Like every time I hear that song, I catch that drum groove and I can't stop. I love it. I love it. So yeah, I wish I could see him, but it's just not happening right now. But let me tell you guys, and you guys don't tell anybody, because I'm waiting until next week to tell her, but The reason I'm not going to see Red Velvet is because I'm buying concert tickets for my daughter for Christmas. And she's with her dad right now. That we celebrate Christmas. She celebrates with him, and then she comes back when school starts again. But the concert tickets for her, for an act that she really likes, that most people like actually, they're not cheap. And so I had to do one or the other. And I still want to go to Korean Music Times this coming spring. So I was like, okay, what are you going to do? Hey, Anthony. And I decided I would go ahead and I would buy her tickets and do that instead of buying my tickets. I'm trying to be a better mother, guys. I really, really am. So yeah, that's what I'm doing is I'm buying her tickets and hopefully she'll love them and it'll be really fun when we go, and then I can go to Korean Time Music Festival, and then possibly if something cool comes next winter, I'll get to see that. Happy New Year. The one music concert I would have gone to this past winter if I had not had my emergency trip, family trip, I would have seen Crush in Dallas. That is the one concert that I absolutely regret not being able to catch, because first of all, it was a solo for Crush. Like, he was the headliner. So I know that he would have sang so many songs that I liked, and it would have been a perfect concert. It would have been perfect. Like, Crush has not released music that I dislike. There have been songs that I like less than others, but for the most part, Crush does everything right. Happy New Year. So I really, really wish that I would have been able to see him when he came to Dallas. But he came the day, was it the day or two, like either the day or 2 days after Thanksgiving. Do you know how much them plane tickets cost? Like, to fly from Denver to Dallas would have been one way like $250. So I would have spent $500 on plane tickets before I even set foot in the venue. I'm sorry, it's too close to Christmas to be spending that kind of money. I need more warning than that. And I need you to pick better dates. I understand that these are not holidays in Korea, but whoever is booking your shows in the United States, you should ask them, hey, am I booking near an American holiday? Because maybe that would keep people from wanting to come see my show. Even though I feel like his concerts were sold out, so hopefully he didn't lose any money, but definitely as a fan, I would have come if it just had better timing. That's what I needed, is better timing. So the thumbnail to this is this right here. This is almond clusters. It's by Creative Snacks Company, naturally delicious, no artificial anything. And this is almond clusters baked with cranberries and cashews. This is my snack addiction currently, and I'm spreading the gospel because I want you guys to be aware. This is some of the most delicious snacking I've ever done. It is exactly what it says it is. It is cranberries, cashews, and slivers of almonds coated in, I guess, maybe sugar water or honey or something like that. I don't know. It's just freaking amazing. But I just want to let you guys know, keep you up on game in case people are trying to eat healthy in the new year. This is fairly healthy. A serving size is half a cup, which is a pretty generous serving size. Half a cup has 170 calories. It does have 100 calories from fat, but mostly that's nut fat. So it's really not that bad. It's saturated fat, so you should be fine. But yeah, thought I'd let you know about that. Okay, so it says, I wish groups or artists came to the Northeast more often. Plane tickets are expensive. True, true. The Northeast is an area you don't see many acts go to. I think the only reason why Jay Park goes there is because he's from the Northeast. But outside of that, well, no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking Northwest. Northeast. Well, no, concerts do go to like Jersey a lot. A ton of things come to Jersey, and KCON New York is in Jersey. So there are those things happening in the Northeast, but I guess if you're talking like Chicago, that kind of area, not so much. And anything north of New Jersey, I don't think you're catching. And then Canada, every once in a while gets concerts, but almost always it's Toronto. Yeah, Boston's kind of lonely, but at least Boston's within driving distance of New Jersey, so that helps out a little bit. I know that for a few of my friends, I have Shawwell 5, she's in Maryland, and she tends to drive to Chicago venues. I guess that's a little bit closer for her. But yeah, there's just not a lot of close stuff. And you know what? I don't notice a lot of K-pop concerts happening in like Atlanta and Florida as much. I feel like there used to be a ton of concerts in Atlanta and Florida, but it doesn't feel like there's that many of like the mainstream K-pop, but there's a whole bunch of like the indie people that go to the coast. So I don't know, that could be some kind of a trend. I'm not sure. But no one ever comes to Colorado. I've been in Colorado now for a year and a half. No one comes to Colorado. Absolutely no one. And you know, I get it. It's not the sexiest venue in the world, and they may be dubious about what their audience is, but people are stealing BTS photo cards out of albums at my local Target. And I live in Colorado Springs. If people are stealing photo cards where I'm at, I'm sure you have an audience in Denver. And I know that like when me and my daughter flew to go see BTS in Dallas, we were on the plane with BTS fans. I know it because they had all their regalia on. And there were BTS fans that caught the red eye back to Denver when we were coming home from that concert. So there's a fan base there. It's just that we're being forced to travel, and that kind of sucks. So I talked about one of my goals for this year is to be involved in a dating scandal. So let's just get it out the way. Kai and Jennie. We've all heard the talk about the reason why we have lazy Jennie is because she's saving all her energy for Kai, who's blowing her back out. There have been all these people, conspiracy theorists and whatnot, who are like, ooh, look at their Instagrams, look at their couple wear, look at this, that, and the other. You know, I have to believe that this relationship is a real relationship, because I don't see YG allowing Jennie to date someone when he obviously has eyed her as like his new prize pony. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. You never heard of CL having any dating scandals the entire time 2NE1 was going on, even though I think it came out later that she was dating somebody at YG, but you never heard about her dating scandals because YG was focused on her career. He wanted to make her the next big thing. YG wants to make Jennie the next big thing. And with that being said, I doubt that he would ever allow her to have a dating scandal with an idol, especially outside of YG, when he has his eyes on her. You know, because YG is known for being a creepy groomer. You guys have heard the story about YG and his wife, right? I want to ask, you guys have heard this story before? Maybe I have told it to you guys? Way back in the 90s or the early 2000s, maybe. Happy New Year! Way back in the 90s, maybe early 2000s, when YG was an adult, he was watching a show about one of the members of Seki's at home with his family or whatever, and saw this guy's like 13-year-old sister and was like, that chick is beautiful. I need to have her as mine. And so he basically recruited her to join his company, let her get in a group, let them get a modicum of popularity, and then basically sabotage the group so she wouldn't have a future in entertainment, so she would be forced to marry him. So when you have somebody who's devious enough to plot on a child and do this kind of Machiavellian scheme to build up their career and then smash it and appear as their one only savior, somebody like that, don't think that his mechanism stopped at his wife. Like, I'm sure there are plenty of trainees and entertainment wannabes and all kinds of other people that have been exposed to YG schemes. And I think part of the reason why he has been so focused on Jennie is because Jennie is the one that he wants. Not saying that he's trying to cheat on his wife with her, why I'm kind of saying that, but you know, I don't want to be sued. All I'm saying is there's a level of desire there that I believe goes past the desire to make her a star, if you know what I mean. And so because of that, I doubt that he would have ever endorsed her dating Kai. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if like the next thing she heard after those news reports was clink, clink, as the cages on the dungeon locked up behind her ass. But, you know, love is what it is. And because of that, you know, I'm happy for them. I am happy for them. I really, really am. You know, I hope that this works out well. I hope that, you know, even if it doesn't work out in terms of them like long-term dating or getting married and all that, I just hope that neither one of them see this impact their career. And part of that is for them. Like, for them, I want them to be happy. Happy New Year. But the other part of it is because if this works, guys, keep your fingers crossed. if this works, if the public somehow through a miracle embraces Kai and Jennie, this means all the rest of the idols can date too. And that's what I want. More than anything else on the face of the planet right now when it comes to K-pop, I want idols to be free to date. I want idols to be free to date because if this happens, do you know how much stress and trauma and like just overall ill will could be eliminated if idols can just date like normal people? Like the stages of acceptance that I want here. I want, the embrace of mental health facilitation and mental health medication and treatment to be widespread. Then I want idols to be allowed to date. And then I want the embrace of idols, alternative genders, and sexualities. And the reason I put that last is because that's the one I think is the most far away goal. So I'm willing to take baby steps and also do the things that I feel like affect the most people. Mental health absolutely affects the most people. It is the one that is an actual killer in South Korea, which is the reason why I need to see that dealt with just on a broad spectrum. But idols being allowed to date, I've mentioned it before. The Shin Se-kyung scandal really affected Jongin in a serious, serious way. And I've never gotten over kind of the ugliness of the public towards him. And so how that contributed to his self-image and what he would allow himself to do for fear of public retribution. Yeah, I'm never letting go of that. And that's the reason why idols being allowed to date, if Kai and Jennie are accepted, then slowly but surely we're moving in the right direction for all of our faves. And that's what I want more than anything, is for all of our faves to be allowed to be in love, to have love, to be able to live the lives that they sing about. Like, doesn't it seem weird to you that like our idols sing about, girl, you're so special and you make me feel this way and I'm so in love with you and you give me a special feeling? Or they sing about breakups and like, oh, you hurt me and I thought we were going to build something together and it didn't happen because you hurt me so deep. For them to sing about this and us being like, that's cool, but you can never live it, doesn't that seem weird? Doesn't that in itself almost seem like the lie? Doesn't that seem like the lie? But yeah, that's the reason why I really want this thing to work out for them so it could work out for everybody else. I missed a comment earlier. I'm going to scroll up to that real quick. There was a recent clip I saw from Mixed Time with CL and YG, and her reactions to his reactions to underage trainees is life. So YG is allowed to look at other females and interact with them, but the boy groups and girl groups in YG are not allowed to look at each other and interact with each other side-eye. Well, you know what? That's the truth. It's always been weird to me since I got into K-pop. I guess I just got used to the unspoken rule of idols can't date. It's been weird to me since I got into K-pop too, but I'm going to tell you guys a really embarrassing journey story here. Follow me with this. Don't judge me too hard. I think we've all gone through this life cycle before, and I'm just willing to be very honest about this. Okay, so my first exposure to K-pop was the Wonder Girls. I've said this many, many times. And then after the Wonder Girls, it was Hyuna and Miss A, Brown Eyed Girls, 4 Minute, and then Eat Your Kimchi. And through watching Eat Your Kimchi and the very positive way that they portrayed South Korea, initially, when I first became a fan of K-pop, I was like, bitch, I need to pack my bags. I'm ready to move. Korea is perfect and wonderful and everything I want to live my life about. And everyone there is beautiful and the technology is awesome and the food is top notch. And I just feel like I'm living in the wrong world. Like, I really felt that way. And it's embarrassing to say that because I got into K-pop as a grown-ass woman. I got into K-pop when my daughter was close to 4 years old. So I was like almost in my 30s, like right on the edge of being 30. So I was like more than a little grown to know that there's no such thing as a perfect world. But there's just something about K-pop, especially second gen K-pop, that was so enticing. And the media worked so hard back then to hide any negative stories. All this Me Too stuff, there was no talk of that when I first got into K-pop. So I really thought like K-pop is perfect and nobody has any problems, and it's just really super wonderful and everything that I'd like to be exposed to, because right now American media is trash. And then slowly, as I started to pay more attention to stories and pay more attention to kind of the darker side of Korea, especially once like Simon and Martina quit being as in love with Korea and started talking about some of the bad things, the Ladies Code car accident, the Sewol ferry tragedy, like more and more and more, my perception of Korea really started to crack apart. And when that happened, it became not necessarily a nightmare, but it became more of a, oh, it's the same old, but it's just got a different face on it. It's the same old, everything's fine. Don't look behind the curtain. Don't worry about the little man working on the projector to show you the wizard. You know, it's one of those kind of Wizard of Oz type things. And because of that, you know, it makes it hard to watch new fans, and they're kind of, oh, my OTP is real. And, you know, I ship these two together and I don't ever want them to date. And they're always going to be my little baby. And they're always so perfect and lovely. It's hard for me because I knew what it took to kind of break me of that mentality. And I feel bad that it's going to take something tragic to break new fans of that mentality. Like, I hate that there were fans of K-pop and possibly even fans of SHINee that had their heart broken when Jonghyun died because they thought K-pop was beautiful and perfect and nice and wonderful and people didn't have problems. Like, I hate to think that that is the thing that broke their K-pop heart. I hate to think that your favorite group losing a beloved member is the thing that broke your K-pop heart. But eventually everybody kind of gets their K-pop heart broken. But with that being said, you know, that initial attraction, that initial like being able to buy into the fantasy, that's the reason why idols can't date. The reason they can't date is because that illusion is the whole basis of the buy-in. The illusion that the idols always look perfect, they're always well put together, they always have great banners, they're always funny, they're always witty, they're all best friends, and all of them are single. That is a part of an overall mechanism to get you to believe that what comes from Korea is untainted and pure and lovely and new and exciting, and you need to buy into it. Hello, Happy New Year. You need to buy into their cosmetics. You need to buy into their clothing. You need to buy into their food. You need to buy into their music. And, you know, long story short, it's not like that. It's just as fucked up there as it is here. It just looks a little bit different. That's all it is. Behind the scenes, there's heavy bullying. There's a lot of problems with the economy in terms of younger people being able to find their way into the economy. The competition culture there makes it very difficult for people with sensitive natures to be able to survive. There's a lot of superficiality in Korea that's embraced as a cultural thing rather than being seen as a byproduct of materialism. And when you take all of that into play, it just makes it to where little things like seeing Kai and Jennie date and be allowed to be public, huge. It really does. It makes those things huge. And so that's the reason why I really want this. I really want this for that next generation of kids that are coming up. If we could just make it a little bit easier for them, then that's what I need. That's absolutely what I need. So I guess I should talk about something else. So if anybody has any suggestions, put it in the chat. I'm still checking it out. I did want to talk briefly about Hyolyn because she performed Dali at the Drama Awards, and apparently people were a little bit shook. Just a little bit shook about that. And it's funny to me because, like, I guess maybe these are people who had never heard the song before, I'm assuming, and so they didn't know, like, what kind of song it was, or people who definitely probably hadn't seen the video before, so had no idea about the choreography. Yeah, those people, I am sure that Hyolyn laying plank style on the ground, kind of humping the ground in a circle, that was probably pretty damn shocking. But at the same time, I have watched some dramas with some really shocking material. Dramas that were meant for the public to watch and had things that were like rapes and murders, attempted rapes, you know, violence against women and children, severe child abuse, like some stuff that really, if you're going to be shocked, let's be shocked by this. A little ass cheek isn't going to hurt nobody. But I have seen shows where like children have been slapped, children have been sold off, children have been shipped off, children have been made into slaves, women have been slapped, women have been shipped off, women have been made into slaves, women have been threatened into forced marriages, forced relationships, forced sexual situations. The whole yanking somebody by the arm and telling them, no, don't go anywhere, only look at me. You know, gosh, I told you guys, I think the reason why I couldn't finish watching Boys Over Flowers is because there were too many scenes where the main female character in that show, like, the whole school came together to throw her off her bicycle. 3 guys pinned her to the ground in the girls' locker room and spread her legs open. Who knows what they were planning to do? Like, when it comes to Dramaland, these individuals shouldn't be shocked by a little ass cheek and a little seductive dancing when the shows that they put on prime time have tons of amoral activity that really should be more concerning for children to see. Because a lot of the time, this material doesn't even get addressed. A lot of the time you watch these shows and you watch these people being manhandled, or you watch the violence happen. And the reward for a female character in most dramas after being attacked and ridiculed and shunned and actually have hands put upon her and endure physical torment is that she might end up with the rich main character at the end. And you know what that sends a message to children of? It sends a message that if you have enough money, the bad things that you do in the end don't matter. It doesn't matter if you treat someone in a humane way. It doesn't matter if you care about being a good person. What matters is that at the end of the day, if this beleaguered, battered, tormented individual lands a rich boyfriend or rich husband, then the job is done. You've succeeded, and it doesn't matter what this rich person did. And that's how you get the real life Korean Air nut rage incident, because you send that message to kids that if I can buy your silence, I've done a good thing. My money equals my morals. And I think that's ridiculous. Look, some more messages here. I think we can all relate. I was a huge YG stan with the whole Papa YG nonsense and that he knows best and all the BS. My best friend, who was also one but woke up to the nonsense, helped me wake up. People need to stop blaming her. If they want to blame anyone, blame the award show company. They invited her and had no issue during all the show practices. Boys Over Flowers, the manga was traumatizing, never finished it, never watched any of the dramas. Good for you. Don't watch the dramas. If you can avoid it, don't watch it. I mean, for those of you who haven't watched Boys Over Flower, I'm just going to give you a super brief synopsis so you can decide what you want to do. There's a school, and at the beginning of the show, there's one student who finds a red card in his locker, and that means that the rest of the school has free range to bully him. And they do. They proceed to kick him, beat him, spit on him, pour things on him until eventually he's on a rooftop, and the rest of the school's at the bottom of this building encouraging him to jump to his death. And so this laundry delivery girl shows up to deliver laundry to him, and she basically talks him out of jumping. Oh no, he tries to jump, but she manages to catch him, which is completely unbelievable because, you know, velocity and speed and weight, it wouldn't have happened. But anyway, she manages to save him, and because of that, she gets a scholarship to the school because the public finds out about this bullying going on at this rich school and they want to save their skins. Again, money equals morality. She goes to this school, and there are these 4 guys who are like the princes of the school. Everybody bows down to them because their family is the richest and has the highest societal positions, and it would be such a prize if any girl could marry into those people or somehow get friendship attached to these people. And this girl doesn't know the background, so eventually she kind of becomes a target of the main guy at this famous 4. And he's an idiot, So he doesn't know whether he likes her or he wants to pick on her. So he just like gets flunkies throughout the school to beat her or sabotage her or do other stuff to her because of course he's not going to get his hands dirty. But then when he decides that he likes her, all of a sudden everything goes okay. And, you know, he can fly her off to exotic places and buy her new clothes and, you know, do all these things to show that he super duper likes her. But when he doesn't like her, if he thinks she's cheating or if he thinks that she lied to him, all of a sudden he could turn the switch and have the school beat up on her again. And it's just like, what kind of moral message does that send? What kind of message in this day and age does it send to say, you are at the whim of my weather today. If I feel gloomy, then you better watch out. But if I feel happy, then I'm going to smother you in diamonds. And this back and forth behavior that I have, this is okay because I'm rich. Like, get the hell out of here. Okay, comments. Let's go back. I can relate. I read and watched a lot of boys love type of things, and the top is always abusive, aggressive, and rapey, and is considered all right because the other character ends up falling in love. I ended up watching Meteor Garden, which I think is what Boys Over Flowers is based on. You're right. Or I think, I'm not sure which came first, the manga or the Meteor Garden, but I think the Meteor Garden was the first adaptation outside of Japan. So we'll go there. It's slightly better, but still, it's insane that these types of characters are normalized on screen, and everyone is like, "Ah, it's cute. He really loves this person." When in all actuality, it's not cute, it's not romantic, and it's quite alarming. That show sounds insane. It is insane, and this is a common trope throughout K-dramas. Like, as much as I like K-dramas, and I really, really do, like, K-dramas were the foundation of me actually getting deeper into K-pop. The things I mentioned before, that happened as well, but K-dramas, like, it really made me embrace all things kind of Korean culturally. But I can't tell you how many K-dramas I watched where women were just treated like freaking cattle. And I have yet to watch any shows. I know they exist. So I just want to put that out there. I know they exist, but I have yet to watch any shows where the guy gets beat up and treated poorly and abused and all of this stuff, and the rich girl swoops in when she starts to feel better and rescues him. Where the rich girl is cold and uneven and fiery tempered, and he's at the mercy of her will. I haven't seen that show yet. I don't think it exists, but I could lose count of the number of dramas where the opposite can be said in terms of men and women. So, I mean, for an industry that basically encourages rape culture, encourages, you know, misogyny and everything else, for them to be all up in arms behind a little bit of butt cheek, it's just like, you've got to be kidding me right now. You have got to be shitting me. Seriously. Like, what? So, yeah. I want to make sure I talked about that because Hyun's actually one of my biases, like in terms of just K-pop music in general. I love her voice. Sister was my bias girl group for a long time before they became inactive, and now my current bias girl group is Red Velvet. But yes, I love Hyun, her voice, her personality, her charisma. Like, I just really like everything about her, and it just sucks that she's getting this kind of backlash. I don't understand why regular, functional, and non-abusive relationships are not more of a thing. Probably because it is boring, but still it is perpetuating a terrible culture. And, you know, I think that is part of what it is. They figure, like, a regular relationship is boring. One part of it, I think, is just the buildup of fantasy. The idea that you could be a regular person, and through sacrifice and understanding and hanging in there, you can get your just rewards. That's kind of what it's seen as. That, you know, if you're a diligent woman and you put up with enough crap from a man, then maybe you'll be rewarded by having this rich man give you a life as his kept woman. But real relationships, those relationships are actually explored on a part of K-drama land that I don't actually pay any attention to because I just don't have the patience for it. And it's the daily drama. They have these dramas. I think they come on every weekend, or they come on maybe every day, kind of like soap operas, but not really, because they do have like a scheduled end date. But like High Kick, that's a show that used to come on, I think, 2 hours every weekend. And these are like daily life family drama shows. And those shows, they tend to have more of a look at, not so rich families and kind of what goes on, in regular relationships. They're still filled with drama. There's always some kind of medical emergency or a debt that needs to be paid or, a threat of getting kicked out of school, stuff like that. But they tend to veer more into like the workings of middle class families. Whereas the high budget evening dramas that pull in the huge shares, that are ones that international fans talk about that usually have between 16 and 20 episodes, those are the ones that usually have this really terrible message attached to them. But the ones that have like the 100 episodes and they're like 30 minutes each episode, those shows, they tend to be more based on family life and kind of everyday life. And they still have huge readership, which is another thing that people never talk about. Like if you're talking about numbers, those shows get huge numbers, but they're not seen as high profile. It's kind of like the difference between a television star and a movie star. Same thing with this. Like you can either be a primetime star or you're a daytime soap star. And daytime soap stars just don't get the recognition that the primetime stars do. So that is something to consider. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in K-pop that I need to be talking about. I can't really think of much. Chungha released her new single. I haven't heard it yet. I need to listen to it. Roy Rook, he came out with his solo as well. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. I really haven't listened to any new K-pop since 2018. Not that that was so long ago, but I'm just saying I haven't listened to any new K-pop since then. But it's good to see people being allowed to go out there and promote. It's always nice to have new music on the horizon. There's not really anybody whose release I'm looking forward to right now. I'm just kind of letting things go wherever they go. But I am excited just about a new year happening and maybe other people having new chances at doing something fun. Also, I'm excited about 2019 because there are a lot of people getting discharged from the military that I haven't seen in a long time, and I am really looking forward to it. Since we happen to be talking about dramas, Kim So-hyun is coming back home in 2019. I cannot wait. I have no idea what drama he'll be in when he gets home, but whatever it is, I'm going to watch because he is one of my favorite drama actors. Gong Yoo is my actual favorite drama actor. Like everything that Gong Yoo does is a win in my eyes. But Kim So-hyun, he does a really good job of playing like the vulnerable character. He's a world-class crier. Everything I've ever seen him in, I've never seen anybody cry as well as he does. But in terms of like just when he's not crying how he is, he's really good at playing vulnerable characters. He did a great job in Dream High. He was great in The Moon That Embraces the Sun. He was great in My Love from Another Star. He did some movie where he played like this North Korean spy. I forget what the name of that movie was, but he was really super good in that. Like he's fantastic in everything he does. And so I really look forward to seeing him come back. I know whatever project he chooses, it's going to pull on my heartstrings and I'm going to watch it even if it is trash because I'm a trash human being. As much as I talk bad about the stereotypes that are perpetuated, a lot of times I still watch the dramas anyway because I'm connected to the actors, but it's not a good thing. I have to admit, I am pretty much trash for that little lacking in moral fiber. But, at least I'm willing to admit it. I'm willing to admit it. I'm not here indignant when I shouldn't be. Ooh, Jisoo is coming back. Benzino, I don't know. He doesn't release a lot of things, and so I'm not sure how I feel about that. But, Jisoo, on the other hand, I cannot wait for him to come back. I've missed his voice a lot. I did not see that Shumi had a new single. I'll have to find that and listen to it. Well, no, wait. I did see it. I just didn't listen to it because it's like 4 minutes long. It's almost 5 minutes long. I did see that come up on the SM channel, but I haven't heard it yet. But yeah, back to Jisoo. Jisoo released one album before he went into the military. I think that album was Circles. It is so good, y'all. It is so good. Like, I don't know what happened, but like, after he did Coming Home for JYP and did like some independent stuff, when he left JYP, the doors of the church flew open and that guy just like totally became a monster. And the features he does with Zico and all these other people, like He's an artist to watch, and he wrote my favorite song from Taemin's Press It album. So yeah, I cannot wait for him to come home and for him to start songwriting and producing and releasing things. He's gonna be wonderful. I think the song that he wrote for Taemin is Until Today. I think that's the name of the song. It's so smoky and R&B, and it's not a sound I expected from Taemin, and it was the first time I was like, Taemin's kind of sexy. I don't know where that thought came from. I think it's the song because normally I don't think that at all. In fact, I'm one of those people that, like, when people have shirtless pictures of Taemin on the internet, I'm like, oh my gosh, put some clothes on the baby. But yeah, like that was a song where I was like, hey Taemin. It's nice. Actually, no, that's the second song that I felt that way about, because I felt that way about on the Ace album. Changmin, he's also got a very sexy pen, and he wrote that song, and it sounds really nice. So yeah, cannot wait. Cannot wait. Is there anybody that you guys are looking forward to having comebacks for? I know that like next year, Red Velvet's probably going to have a ton of comebacks. I know Luna's supposed to be having a comeback pretty soon. It said Luna XX, which is like pluses turned around, I guess. But is it a repackage or is it a brand new project? That I'm not so clear on. If anybody has any insight on that, please let me know. I like Luna just fine. You know, I've been watching a few of these end of the year roundups. I haven't left comments on everybody's videos. I really do need to do that. I've been watching a lot of these end of the year roundups, and a lot of people chose Luna as their rookie of the year, which I get that because they've made a really big splash internationally. But I don't know. I'll say what I said before. We got so used to getting monthly or bi-monthly releases from Luna that it kind of feels a little bit like a letdown now that they finally debuted, that they now have to take their time having releases. So yeah, I don't know. Not sure how I feel about that one. Okay, I keep hearing about Taemin having come back in February or Marchish, or sometime in the first half of the year. I could see that. Taemin just had a Japanese release a few months ago. Like when I say a few months ago, I mean like maybe 3 months ago. It hasn't been that long. It was sometime in the fall that Taemin had a Japanese full album come out, and I think it's just called Taemin, which makes for terrible search results. But yeah, it's about time for him to come back to Korea and release something, because the last thing that he released in Korea was Moving, and that came out in early December. Man, the timing on that one. Late November, early December of 2017. So it is time for Taemin to bring something out in Korea. I'm not sure what the enlistment schedule is looking like for the rest of SHINee right now, but Taemin is supposed to be the last one to go. So it would be nice to see him do some solo stuff in case Key decides he wants to join early, in case Minho decides he wants to join early. It'll be up to Taemin to kind of carry that group energy until Onew gets out the military. And I'm not saying that because the other members aren't capable. I just think that when it comes to the voices that the public identifies for SHINee right now, they most closely identify Taemin and Onew as the main voices of SHINee. And because of that, it's important that one or the other is not in the military if they kind of want to keep the Shawwal ship moving. Also, as a VIP, I'm just patiently waiting for Big Bang to fully come back. Got 2 more years. That would be nice. It'll be nice when they finally come back. It's just so nice to see them grow up, though. Like, there's just something really satisfying about Big Bang going into the military. Not that, you know, you want everybody to go to the military. Like, I'm not saying that. It's just more like, it's just satisfying to see them go to the military, because it means that when they come back, they can do whatever they want. Like, anyone can kiss their ass at that point, because they'll be grown men at that point, and they no longer have to worry about, you know, trying to keep childish levels of popularity. It's going to be about what the long-term strategy is. Like, that's what when I look at military service, I don't look at it as like, oh, they're going to lose their current popularity. I look at it as more now is like, you get away from your company, you get away from the entertainment industry, you get a time to really sit and think about what you want to do next and be like, okay, I'm a grown-ass man now. I've passed the threshold of what people consider to be grown-ass mandom. Now it's time for me to do what I want to do. And that's what I really like about when people go off to the military. So May says 91 liners need to enlist this year. Yeah, it's kind of sad. I'm hoping for a Nine Muses comeback in 2019, but I'm not sure it would happen. I'm ready for GDN Top Volume 2. Let's see. Phelps and Zico making his own company. I'll have to talk about that in a moment. I'm very excited for Kyuhyun to be discharged in 2018 because that means Suju is done enlisting. Yes, that's true. I hadn't thought about that, but his time is coming up soon. Wow. It's hard to believe that they're all done with their enlistments. It seemed like for the last maybe 4 years, at least one member of Super Junior has been in the military. But yeah, now it's finally coming to an end. And this is the reason why big member groups are such a blessing in K-pop and why it's such a curse to be a fan of a small group. When you're a fan of a small group, when people start going to the military, it's almost time to like hang up your light stick because you're not going to hear from them for a while. Whereas if you have a big group, if you time that shit right, you can still be having releases all the time while somebody or another is in the military. Nah, it's not so much for me. Not so much for me. SHINee's a really small group right now, and so the enlistments are going to hurt. Oh well. This is why people should all be girl group fans. The girls never enlist. That's why we should all be girl group fans. Just, FYI. So Zico forming his own company. I should talk about that. Thank you for reminding me. I do not know how I feel about it, though. On the one hand, it makes sense for him to have his own company because when he left, I don't want to say Block B, when he left 7 Seasons, I felt like that was a move that he made because his affiliation with Block B was kind of a hindrance to his overall creativity. And I don't say that saying that like, okay, I think that Zico and the circle he moves in and the people that he's around, they're all kind of free-floating entities. Like they kind of only worry about themselves. They're not attached to anybody. Like he hangs out with Dean and Crush and a lot of these like K hip-hop artists. None of them are members of bands. So because none of them are members of bands, it makes sense that he kind of gets a little bit stifled in terms of what he can do because while he does a lot of stuff on his own, he's also got to think about, okay, I need to make some time in my schedule to record with my band members, promote with my band members, do tours with my band members. Whereas somebody like Crush or somebody like Dean, they can just like, I'm just going to disappear for a year. Fuck it. The only career I'm impacting is my own. And so it makes sense for Zico to maybe want to be a part of a one-man company and that their job would be to allow Zico to kind of pursue his interests the way he wants to, help do a little damage control if he gets caught in a dating scandal or whatever, help manage his publishing because he does a lot of songwriting for other people, and then also maybe help him with, artist and talent management because he may be thinking, you don't make money as the artist, you make money as the management team of the artist. And looking at somebody like Jay Park, or even, JYP, people who started out their lives in the industry as the talent and then became the man behind the talent. I can see that being very attractive for Zico. So that's why I feel like it makes sense for him to decide he's going to be his own agency because then, like I said, he has a support group that's really there just to support his individual endeavors, make sure that the money is still flowing when he needs to take some time off, and also to make sure that if he decides he wants to do some artist cultivation, if he wants to sign some people, that's a go as well, that they have a support team as well. So I'd love to see if he decides to take on other artists, what they would be. Would he decide to sign females? Will he try to sign other rappers? Like, those are the things that I'm very interested in seeing from him. I would love to see him on another season of Show Me the Money and have it maybe be that the stakes for him if he goes on that show is that, like, if I like you and you're on my team and you're doing really well, you might get signed to my label. Like, I think that would be a huge prize. That way, like, if you don't win the ultimate money prize, you win the opportunity to gain a career, because that's what happens to a lot of people on Show Me the Money. There's a ton of rappers that have been on Show Me the Money that maybe didn't win the show, but because of their affiliation when they were on the show, they won a record contract or they won a distribution deal with whatever team they were on when they were on the show. So something to keep in mind. Okay, I'm missing some stuff here. FX 10-year anniversary. Girl groups need more love. Can it be 2019 for that start? I can dream. Sometimes I like to think of the FX drought as the girls in military red light era style. Oh, that's so mean. That's so mean. FX has a 10-year anniversary coming up, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel. So one of my secret vices when I'm by myself and I have a little time to kill, one of the things I love to do is I love to open up my Superstar SM and play a couple of rhythm games with different songs from SM people. I mean, I like to stick to SHINee, but I have a lot of fun doing BoA songs because there's a lot of early BoA songs I've never heard. So it's kind of fun doing hers because I never know what I'm going to get. But FX, I noticed that on the rhythm game, there are a few Amber songs on there. Like there's Hit That Bass. Is that the name of the song? Shake That Brass. Hit That Bass, Shake That Brass. Oh my gosh. I hated that song, so it really didn't matter to me. But anyway, Shake That Brass. Shake That Brass is on there. But they also have White Noise. They also have Countdown. And they have a few other songs that Amber released independent, but they don't have her free mixtape that she just released on there. Just thought I'd put that out there for you guys in case you're wondering. But somehow or another, Amber is still kind of represented by SM. There's still a relationship there. Luna, a teaser just came out for a project she's doing. I don't know if it's the title song for an album or if it's just another one of these SM station things, because that seems to be all she can get lately. But it seems like the only two people in FX who really care about continuing the musical portion of being a member of FX are Amber and Luna. And they still have some engagement with SM in terms of being able to create music, do videos, stuff like that. But for the most part, it seems like Amber has realized that she can't wait for SM in order for her to do anything. So she's been releasing her own mixtape. She just had a concert tour that she did. Like she's creating her own opportunities. Luna, I think that she's got like a beauty guru channel now. She's kind of creating her own opportunities. Victoria is just in China, busy raking up as much Chinese money as she can get. We were supposed to have a solo from her last year. I have no idea what happened with that, but it was mentioned and then it went away just like dust. And then Crystal, you know, she's busy with her acting career and CF representation, all that kind of stuff. So with all the girls being in so many different directions, it would be nice if they came back for their 10-year anniversary just to give fans closure and say, okay, this is it. This is our last hurrah. Let's enjoy this and keep going. But I don't even know if they're willing to get together enough for that, to be quite honest with you. I really don't even know if they can get together enough for that, because it just seems like everybody's head is in a much different place. And I'm not saying they're not friends in real life or anything like that, but these are women that are getting older. And as they're getting older, their pursuit when they were younger was to get the exposure, get a career, get a fan base, you know, achieve their dream of getting recognition as entertainers. But now that they've gotten there, their goals have maybe shifted. It's not so much about getting recognition, it's about getting the role in entertainment that they actually want, being seen in entertainment in ways that they're comfortable with, or being able to sing songs that they want to sing, or, you know, maybe not even sing it at all. There's a lot of K-idols that get into bands that want to be actors, but they get into a band for a little bit of exposure and an opportunity to catch a name, and then use that exposure to do a guest star on a K-drama and then build their acting career. So I think with them all being in different directions, it would be lovely just to have one last project so we can say thank you and get a light stick. But then after that, I wouldn't expect to see anything else from them. I really think it's kind of over for FX. Let's see more comments here. I didn't mean it like that, but I really miss the girls so much. I get that the situation more complicated than SM just ignoring them, but it's still super sad. I hope they'll at least get to release a single, even if it isn't promoted. G-Friend comeback thoughts. If FX does get a single, even if it's not promoted, I want them to have a video where their faces are seen. I don't want a video like how we got for Girls' Generation's 9th anniversary, where it was like a cartoon video. I don't want that. I want them at the very least to be able to get like a real video so that we can like see them as for one last time. You know, I even would be cool, even though I don't like her personally. I would even be cool with Sully making one last appearance just to round up 10 years of activities. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I don't like Sully, but I'll go with it. But yeah, like it would be nice to have something like that. Speaking of Sully, oh my gosh, speaking of Sully, so I'm subscribed to the SM Town YouTube channel, and I check my YouTube timeline every once in a while. Why is Sully getting a photo book? Can somebody explain that to me? Like, I thought that, yes, she's still signed to SM, but she signed to SM as an actor. And I don't ever see the actors at SM being promoted on the music YouTube channel. Like, unless they're singing a song, they don't ever get promoted on the SM YouTube channel. Like, that just doesn't happen. So why does she have a commercial on the SM YouTube channel promoting her photo book? Why is Sully even getting a photo book? She's got an Instagram and it's full of weird, oddly perverted, kind of sexualized pictures. She gives people a lot of content. I don't understand this at all. That would be something that would make me mad as a you if I had to deal with FX not getting comebacks after years and years and years and years and years, but then Sully, who left the group behind a piece of choice, gets a whole photo book. Like, I don't get that. That makes no sense to me. When I saw it, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Seriously. Like, if FX doesn't want to record an album, but they wanted to do an FX photo book, they could sell it. They're selling selfie books of XOCBX. They sold selfie books for Girls' Generation and for Red Velvet. They could sell a selfie book for FX. That would be fine. People would buy it. Hardcore fans would definitely buy it. They could do a limited run. It would probably sell out in a matter of hours. But yeah, why would Sully get a photo book, but the rest of FX wouldn't get anything? Like, that's just so fucking random. Like, I need somebody to explain that one to me. I don't get it. I do not get it. And apparently, Sully's got some more Instagram drama. I don't know what it's about because, like I said, I don't like her. So I don't ever click on news stories about her because I don't like her. So I couldn't tell you what's going on with her Instagram. The last time she had some Instagram drama, it was behind like some perverted photographer having them pose covered in oil, wearing these baby lotion shirts. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like that lady. I don't like her. I don't like her. GFriend's comeback, I wish them the best. You know, GFriend is a group that I don't really follow much anymore. I really liked GFriend when they first came out. In fact, I remember distinctly when GFriend first came out, there were like 4 groups that came out at the same time. I think it was it was GFriend, Oh My Girl, CLC, and Sunamu all came out kind of around the same time because I had CDs from all of them and I did like unboxing week and I unboxed all those CDs. I remember very distinctly when that first one came through saying, this group is going to make it. Like, there's something very special about this group. They're going to make it. It's not all about the girl who looks like Jessica. It's about the rest of the group. They got something. I said the same thing about Oh My Girl as well. I said those two were going to make it. They had something going on. I have been disappointed with the unevenness of Oh My Girl's catalog. Like, they had a really good run up until, like, I would say Windy Day, and then things kind of fell apart for me when it came to Oh My Girl. But GFriend, they've had a streak. You know, they had Fingertips was a difficult time because a lot of people like, you had this schoolgirl concept that we really loved and you kind of veered away from that. But then, you know, they were able to bring it back even after that as well. And Time for the Moon Knight did really well. So yeah, you know, I'm looking forward to GFriend coming back with something, but they're not a group I really follow anymore. So I can't say I'm super hyped about it. I'm just glad to see them continuing on because I was rooting for them in the beginning and it's nice to see them continue to do well. Thoughts on Chungha's comeback? I had mentioned before, I haven't actually listened to the song, so I don't have thoughts about her comeback. But it's nice to see someone from Produce 101 doing well. I feel like I need to do a Produce 101 season 1 viewing. I did not watch season 1 of Produce 101. And because I didn't watch it, I didn't really pay that much attention to IOI. I also really didn't pay attention to like Gugudan, Wiki Mickey, Priston. I'm trying to think what's the other group that came out of that set of trainees. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to a lot of these groups that came out. And to be honest with you, I wasn't really looking forward to anything from Chungha because, again, I wasn't really paying that much attention to IOI. But as time, Cosmic Girls existed before Produce 101, so that's why I feel like I can't really count that. And Dia actually existed before 101, but they added a girl to Dia, I believe, after Produce 101. Like they had a girl that had to stop promoting, something weird like that. But yeah, I really wasn't really paying much attention to Chungha because of that. But then as she was coming out with songs, a lot of people were like, hey, this is different. And because she was a solo artist, it was a lot easier for me to be like, okay, well, I can check her out because I don't have to know a lot of names. It's just one person. I can make this happen. And I like her dancing. I think her songs are well made, well produced, well written. I'm not a big fan of her voice. You know, she's one of those people that I think her charisma is kind of what propels her career more than her voice. Her voice is okay, but it's exactly that. It's okay. But there's nothing wrong with having an okay voice. And I'm about to say something that's probably wildly unpopular. I don't think that Sunmi is a great singer. Really. Like, Sunmi from the Wonder Girls, if I had to pick a great singer from the Wonder Girls, I'd pick Yanni. I wouldn't have picked Sunmi at all. I don't think that Yubin is a very strong singer either. But what they have that makes me pay attention to them and makes me want to buy their material and makes me want to support them, they've got personality. And I think that's what it is for Chungha. I think that she has really good discernment when it comes to what kind of music she should release, what kind of music suits her style and her trademark kind of. She's really good with performance. She's got a lot of charm in her performance. You know, those are the things that I think propel her as a solo star. And those are things that no matter how much training you do, you cannot buy. So for that reason alone, I'm supportive of her career, even if I don't like her voice. But you know, like I said, Sunmi, love that lady to pieces. I just think she's just kicking ass left and right. But at the same time, she's not a good singer. You can't tell me she is, but she's a whiz at like song choice and concept building and just, you know, putting on the charm and making you fall for her. Same thing with Yubin. She's really quirky. Like the stuff that she's been coming out with is like, who else in K-pop is doing this? Nobody. But at the same time, you want to watch, you want to listen, you want to be involved because it's just so kind of out there. So that's how I feel about Chungha. And look, let's see what the comments say. Somebody said, what? And then someone said the exact same thing about Chungha on an article about her new single. That's so funny. Well, I mean, it's just the truth. It's just the truth, you know. And not every great song has a great singer. You know, like, honestly, not every great song has a great singer. Here's another unpopular opinion. I really, really like 2 Miley Cyrus songs. Woo! I don't want to admit that. I really like The Climb because when my daughter was little, that was one of her favorite songs. And so in turn, it became a song that I really liked. I also like Wrecking Ball. I think that it got overplayed at the time that it first came out, but I thought it was actually a really decent song, like lyrical wise and everything else. But I don't like the sound of Miley Cyrus's voice. I find her voice to be high-key annoying. But the songs are good. And even though I don't like her voice and I find her voice to be annoying, her voice really works for those songs. Like, seriously, like, if you listen to The Climb, I've heard people with amazing voices sing that song, and it doesn't hit me the same way it does when Miley Cyrus sings it. Same thing with, like, Wrecking Ball, and even Party in the USA. Like, I really like those songs, and I like them the way that Miley Cyrus sings them, but I don't like her, and I would never buy a Miley Cyrus album. So that's why I say, you know, you don't have to be a great singer to make people really like your work. Sometimes it's something about maybe the style of your delivery, the texture of your voice that really make it work. Okay, so Random Chibi says, I love the climb, no shame. I wish I knew more about girl groups. I mostly listen to boy groups and female solos. Okay, that's fair. The same can be said about Twice. They're really not great singers, but they have wonderful personalities, but I love their songs though. I would say exactly the same thing about Twice. I really like the videos that Twice does. Like, I can't say that I like their songs, and I don't even like all their videos, but sometimes they'll do a video that just has a really weird concept, and I'll want to watch the video just to kind of see what they're doing this time, you know? But in terms of like liking the music, it's been a long time since I've loved a Twice song. A lot of people really, really like Yes or Yes. I don't even know the name of their latest single. They did a repackage of Yes or Yes, I think, and there's another single out there. I don't know what it's called. Lonely Christmas, Lonely Island. I have no idea. I haven't heard it. Haven't heard it. But there's a lot of songs in Twice's discography that I really could give a damn about. But they have great videos. I've seen them on Don't Wake Up Mother, and they have really fun, charming personalities. But that's really what it is. It really is just, it's a personality game, and it's a cult of personality game. Like, their fans are rabid, and they are just, they'll buy anything by Twice, I feel like. But the songs, to me, they don't do it for me. Vocally, they just don't do it for me. Their songs are just so catchy. I mean, I guess their songs are catchy. You know, I think the catchiest song that Twice ever did for me, like in terms of a song that I could not get out of my head, TT. But TT is also Twice's best song. Fight me in the comments if you want to. TT is the best song that Twice has ever done. Like, there's something about that song. It kind of has a Miami bounce beat to it, but it's just so good. Am I on? Ah, got it fixed. Oh my gosh. I didn't know if we were going to come back. I lost several people during that time, but that's okay because I'm going to wrap this up soon anyway. I thought Likey was okay. I almost called it Lucky. Thought Likey was okay. Dance the Night Away was not for me. Wasn't my jam. I really like I liked Cheer Up. I didn't like Knock. I didn't like Knock on My Door. I didn't like that one. I didn't like the Heart Thump, Heart Stop, Heartbeat. Don't know what that song is. I see, I don't even know what the name of the song is, y'all. And I'm probably missing some songs in their discography because, like, yeah, the songs do nothing for me. Oh, I did like What Is Love. I thought that was cute. I did like that one. And I only remember that song because I remember the video, because I remember they did all the movie parodies, but they did all of them like with lesbian heroines, and that was really, really nice. So that I do recall. But outside of like all of the girl love, I don't remember very much about that song. That is one thing I will say about Twice. They are not afraid to give you some reaction. But yeah, like, that's probably the last song that Twice did that I remember. I want to know, no, no, no. Yeah, I remember that song pretty well, like the chorus. I do not remember the verses of that song at all. But I guess, a good song, it doesn't matter about the, you don't need verses when you got certain elements. It is what it is. How do I feel about a Rosé solo? That was a question earlier. I feel good about a Rosé solo. Why not? I feel like a Rosé solo would shame the devil because to me, she's the strongest voice in Blackpink. So her solo would probably be a solo I'd be tempted to buy if there was more than one song because I really, really like her voice. I find her voice to be very special. And it's special in a very YG way. It kind of falls in the vocal heritage of a Park Bom, but not exactly because she has this weird kind of like break whenever she hits certain notes that sounds very unique. But yeah, I would be interested in her solo for sure. I wasn't going to buy a Jennie solo. I just wasn't. Well, number one, I wasn't buying a Jennie solo because it was a single. I'm not trying to spend that kind of money on a YG artist, just period, point blank, for a single. But also, I don't know. I feel like, I just feel like Jennie is a kind of less talented version of CL, you know? And until CL releases some material that I can actually get with, I'm really not trying to buy Solo. I actually didn't even like the chorus of Solo. Like, the verses of Solo seemed like they were okay to me, but the beat drop for the chorus of Solo wasn't for me, man. It wasn't for me. And you know, I'm not trying to prevent Jennie from getting her shine, get her fans. You do you. I'm happy for you. I mean, you're dating Kai. At this point, if your album flops, if the group was to fall apart, girl, if your hair was to come out, it wouldn't matter. You got you a good one. And if it works out for you, then you're already a winner. You've already come ahead in the game. But I don't see it for Jennie like that. I just see kind of a watered down version of CL. In fact, funny, I don't think I've ever mentioned this in one of my podcasts before, but my daughter, that's why I haven't mentioned it, because it involves my daughter. And this was before I was actually showing people my daughter. So my daughter and I were in the car, and she had a friend in the car with her, and I was taking them to the anime club in Manitou. And so we decided to go out to eat lunch first, and then we got in the car. And as we were in the car, I'm like, I'm going to play some Blackpink songs because, you know, as a parent, I feel like it's my duty to spread the K-pop gospel to other small children and grow them up in the ways that'll lead them on the right path as an adult. So there was this little boy that my daughter was in the car with, and I decided to play Blackpink. I call him a little boy, but he was like 14. My daughter's 13. It's fine. I played Blackpink's the first song, Boombayah, and Whistle, and he really liked those songs. So then I decided to play 2NE1's I'm the Best, and he was like, is this that same group? Because they sound way better on this one. And I'm like, actually, child, this is another group called 2NE1. And you're right, they are far superior. And we just proceeded to like go down the 2NE1 rabbit hole. And so we were listening to 2NE1's I'm the Best. We listened to I Love You. We listened to, oh shit, not Crush, but the Come Back Home. So with that being said, this was somebody who I totally didn't coach them on how to respond to this. I didn't give them any preparation. I didn't try to approach them with any bias. I just wanted to share some K-pop because, again, like I said, the children need to know. And they need to know the classics. And yeah, immediately he picked up on, this is a very similar sound, but with people who do it better. And so with that being said, I didn't shade Blackpink in that instance. That was a stranger that did that. It's a good kid, though. I like him a lot. I'm sad that he moved away. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. You know, I wish them all the luck in the world, but it's just, you know, if beauty is what YG wanted, he got it, but there was some vocal sacrifice involved with that swap. But Rose, on the other hand, whether she was in Blackpink or whether she was a solo artist, I really enjoy the quality of her voice, the texture of her voice. So I would be excited about hearing what she had to say on a solo album. A solo album, not a solo song, a solo album. There's a very big difference. Don't come at me with the single shit talking about you've made your solo debut. If that's the case, then everybody on SM has made their solo debut because they've all done SM station songs. So don't lie. Don't lie, YG. We know what the truth is. Let's see. I missed a con. EXID's I Love You is a bop. I agree. I agree that EXID's I Love You is a bop. I really enjoy that. If Rose was a solo artist under YG, she'd be sitting next to EHI at the Acme Girl. It would be so sad. It would be sad. Well, you know what? If they were to all come together, maybe, much like the Powerpuff Girls, the three of them could combine their forces and break through the doors of the dungeon and eventually escape to freedom. I really hope that when the brother from Acme comes back, that he whoops YG's ass. If nothing else happens, when he comes out of the military, I just want him to give YG the cold one. I really do. I want him to give YG the cold uppercut because he said in the media, the only thing I want is for YG to take care of my sister and allow her to produce music while I'm gone. And it's never happened. It has never happened. And her and EHI have a group. I think it's called Haisuyan. I think that's what the name of their group is. They have a group. They had a great song. Bobby was in the video. I remember this very distinctly. Do the rest of y'all remember this song? Ha, good girl. I cannot remember what the name of the song is now. I'm Different. That's the name of the song. The song is called I'm Different. The group was called Haisuyan, I believe. The video had Bobby, and it had the two girls like spying on Bobby, even though I think Bobby had a girlfriend, but they both had a crush on him. Anyway, great song. Fantastic song. Them two, an album would have been amazing. Like, they could do that. And now that she's not with her brother, this could totally be a thing. This could totally be like a little sub-unit for the both of them to kind of, you know, get out there. You know, they won't have to be by themselves. You know, they can rely on each other to do a little play action, have some people dancing in the backgrounds, but no. Nope, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Instead of let them languish. That's what they get. They're ugly women, so that's what they get. I can't believe it's 4 years. It feels like yesterday. Like, that song is so fresh. You could play that song today and it still works. It has that kind of Amy Winehouse vintagey dap tones kind of sound to it, very Mark Ronson. But it's one of those sounds that has never died. And so bring them back, have them do a whole album like that. It would sell like hotcakes. The Korean public would eat it up. They want that shit. Why won't you do it, YG? Why do you snub your nose at money? Who is it working in the marketing and accounting department that is like, this is a money opportunity and it would be great for us to take this, but instead let's just screw the bolts in a little tighter on the hinges to the dungeon door. This is so dumb. So fucking dumb. Man. Ugh. Okay, Zika, if you get your solo label, when you get your one-man agency started, if you decide to sign people, please check on EHI. Her contract might be coming up soon because goodness knows it's been years since she first signed with YG. Please rescue her. Please rescue her. She needs help. She needs a way. She needs a way. Like, she's gotten to the point where, like, she does concerts, appearances, I guess, and she, like, remixes her songs because she's so tired of singing them. Because she only got, like, a couple handfuls of songs to sing. She only has 2 releases. How long has EHI been on YG? 2 releases. The fuck is going on? And especially with Big Bang being gone, I mean, I get it. YG had a great year with iKON, and they've been making a ton of money with Blackpink. But that doesn't mean you can't make more money. It's not like Blackpink has been promoting all year long. It's not like iKON has been promoting every single month of the year. There was room in there for at least one EHI comeback. So I'm just saying, you know, at this point, it's malicious. Like, honestly, it's past the point of being funny or being, oh, we just haven't come up with the right concept. At this point, it is malicious. There's something, I don't know if EHI rejected his advances, if maybe initially she said, you know, I'm too young right now, maybe when I'm grown. Then when she got grown and got her Soulite album, she said, you know what, you're a creep and I don't want it. And he's like, oh, well, then I'll show you. You'll stay in the dungeon until your contract is up. Like, that's all I can assume. That's all I can assume is that he has a personal vendetta against this girl and he doesn't want to see her succeed. And that is the reason why he refuses to promote her. Let's see. YG let her feature on other people's songs and no new songs. Even EHI Japan release was a compilation of Korean songs. True. Are iKON and Blackpink's income near to what Big Bang normally brings in to balance things out for YG? I'm certain that their income probably is not as much as Big Bang would have, but there's Big Bang residuals. Like, there are still Big Bang albums being sold even in 2018, and there will be in 2019, because if you all recall, Taeyong's last album didn't come out that far from the end of 2017, so there was still some money to be made. And then Seungri had his album this year, so there was some money made there. So they had income from Seungri this year. They had 3 stellar comebacks from iKON. They had Love Scenario. I just hate the way that word is pronounced. The song is great. Don't get me wrong. I just hate pronouncing English word so weird, scenario. There's no country where it's pronounced scenario. Anyway, just saying. Love scenario. They had Killing Me, and then they had, I want to call it Rabbit Road. I can't remember what the last song is, but iKON had like several hits this year, or 2018. And then Winner had Millions come out towards the end of the year. Mino had Fiance come out. I cannot recall if Everyday came out during 2018 or not, so I'm hesitant to count that. But they had a lot of money with that. Blackpink, of course, had their mini album come out. They've had Japanese releases come out. Jennie had her solo come out. They did the song with Dua Lipa. They're going to be at Coachella next year, I heard, which, wow, that's a look. That's definitely that's a big look. That's a big get. So yeah, YG definitely had some income coming in from his musical acts. It wasn't just all stone silence there. There was money coming in. But where's one's rap career? Where is EHI's career? Where is Suhyun's career? Why did he what happened between him and Epic High that caused them to leave the label when they had their own imprint that they were managing at YG? Like, I still don't know what happened with that. And if they've left the label, do the acts that were under their imprint get impacted by that? Do they have the option of leaving as well? Like, that situation, I still don't get. I still don't get that situation at all. So, I don't know. There's a disconnect there, and I don't know what it is. Let's see. Hopefully those K-pop psychics on Twitter are right about YG getting exposed this year. I checked YG stocks. It's very balanced between Blackpink, iKON, and Winner. YG exposed. What's that about? YG getting exposed. That would be a blessing and a curse maybe. Who'd take over? That's good news for YG stock. Everyday was from 2018. Okay, good. I wasn't sure, but I'm glad that was confirmed. Exposed as the creep that he is, even though we already know, but he needs to get in some real deep shit about it. I think he needs to be caught touching young girls. Not that I want any girl to be traumatized, especially not a child, but I think he needs to get caught in it. That way people can know him for the pedophile that he is. Allegedly. Don't sue me. About time. Somi made such a bad choice signing with YG. I'm still mad about that. We will talk about that as soon as I finish reading these comments. Asking all the right questions. Will we ever get a response is the next question. Oh my God, yes, I forgot about one. He's like a model now under YG. I thought Suhyun was supposed to get a solo while her brother was in the military. We talked about that earlier. She was supposed to. It didn't happen. He'll be back from the military before she gets anything. So, to respond to May about Somi joining YG. When I heard about Somi joining YG, I was like, this sounds like a lateral move. Hey, Sean Baby Muse. This sounds like a lateral move to me. It totally sounds like a lateral. Okay, so what everyone thought as the reason why Somi left JYP was that she was tired of waiting for him to get together her supporting group so that she could debut finally in an act besides IOI. So everybody's like, okay, so she's leaving JYP. Cool. I wonder where she'll go. She's probably not going to go to one of the other big three, because that's unheard of. Like, in the entire time I have been in K-pop, I have never known a popular, somewhat kind of debuted idol leave one big three to go to another big three. Like, I have never heard of that. And when I found out she had signed to YG, I think is she on the Black label? I can't recall. I don't know if she's on YG Main or if she's on one of the sub labels. When that happened, I remember thinking, number one, how did that happen? Number two, why did this happen? Number three, has she lost her fucking mind? Now, I know her dad is her manager, so perhaps her dad had been asking JYP for more money, and that's the reason why things didn't work out with JYP while she was waiting to debut. Like, maybe the dad was like, you need to be paying my daughter for her time waiting. You need to be doing things to promote her, getting her CFs while she's waiting, and you're not doing that, and so that's why we need to leave. Valid points all made. But her dad has been in charge of her career, and he must be the biggest dummy in all of Korea for him to think that joining YG was going to do any better for her. The only thing that it could possibly mean for her is more CF money. I'm sure that he can get her better endorsements for like products and things like that. But in terms of getting your daughter a successful singing career, that's never going to happen. And, no shade to Somi, because Somi was young when she was on 16. And she was young again when she was on IOI, but Somi's not that strong of a singer. She's very talented. Like, she can do a lot of things. She's like one of those people in a group that, like, if you needed to rap, she can rap. If you needed her to sing a little bit, she can sing a little bit. But she's not the greatest singer. She's not somebody that I would see as a solo artist by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, I would see her as a power visual. Like, that's the role I would see her in. So I feel like it must be her dad. Like, it must be her. YG must have told her dad, like, listen, if you bring your daughter here to YG, we will get her jobs doing modeling, commercials, stuff like that, and we will get you jobs. Like, that is the rationale that I'm assuming came about this. I think that her dad was enticed by YG because, if you guys don't know, Somi's father is also an actor in Korea. I think he's like a martial artist of some sort, taekwondo, something or another to that effect. But he's also an actor. He was in Descendants of the Sun, and he's been in a few other K-dramas here and there, and he's done variety. In fact, the Korean public got to first meet Somi through her father, because her father used to go on like variety shows and show off his Korean family and his children and stuff like that. So, I mean, she was kind of always a little show busy kid. But yeah, her dad has had an entertainment career. And I really think that her association with YG, more than anything, has to do with the acting arm of YG and him saying, if you give me your daughter, I will give you job opportunities. And for him being the world-class idiot that he is, he's like, yeah, sure, sounds good, buddy. I hate to... This is all assumptions, but I just feel like that's what it is. I think that's what it is. Oh, yeah, and the other daughter, too. When she did the 16 show, and they showed her meeting up with her dad, they made sure that they showed that there was another daughter available as well. So, yeah, that's what I feel like it is. Let's read some comments here. Geez, Blackpink is barely getting what they need. How in the hell are they going to pay attention to a person like Somi? Joining YG is like jumping into a flaming dumpster. Somi is an all-arounder. Maybe her dad was scared of her being outshined in the JYP group. I don't see that happening. I don't think that there's anybody that JYP could have recruited that would have outshone Somi. Also, the fact that, like, when you look at Twice, there are definitely some standout people in Twice, but every member of Twice has their own fan group. Whether you're a great singer or not, and a lot of them are not, everybody kind of has their niche in terms of the fandom. So JYP, I have to say, is really good at that. There's only one very uneven group when it comes to JYP, and that's GOT7. But like 2PM, while there are definitely fan favorites, kind of everybody's got their own bit of attention. But like with GOT7, definitely Jackson was kind of the one that had the most attention initially. But Twice, it's very evenly distributed. Okay, I wish the Black Label was a lot better. I was so excited when Zion T joined, kind of, but with him, he stopped releasing so often. I guess no part of YG is really good. Now, I will say, with Zion T on the Black Label, he actually has released quite a bit of stuff. Zion T released OO in 2017 and released ZZZ in 2018. So he's releasing at least one project a year, which is pretty good for him, because when he was on Amoeba Culture, he only had one physical album. So actually, it's not that bad. Sounds very plausible. Somi's dad has also been pushing the super young daughter to the spotlight too, and it is so LOL. And Miss A, speaking of the new JYP girl group, I'm so ready. I'm ready too. I'm ready for a new JYP girl group. I hope the new girl group is a small group, since Miss A is no longer exists. And that's why I didn't mention them when I say like current groups, that it's lopsided, because that Miss A thing, it wouldn't have been like that for Miss A if it wasn't for Dream High. But after Dream High, I don't think that YG knew what to do with that level of attention that Suzy received. And after that, I guess their marketing department just gave up and said, you know, let's take this other one to the moon, and these other three, figure it out, honey. But I would like to see another smaller girl group on YG. If not a smaller girl group, I kind of want a sister group for Stray Kids doing a girl crush type of concept, or even like a girl band kind of concept, because, you know, Quiet as It's Kept, Wonder Girls as a band was actually pretty genius. Like, it was actually a really smart move, and there aren't really any girl bands, so I could be behind that. I just don't know if the public would embrace it as much, so that's a thing. But yeah, a YG girl band kind of as a sister act to Day6, or maybe kind of as a sister act to Stray Kids, would be pretty damn cool. I wish I could stay. Oh, okay, no problem. Thank you for contributing. Always love hearing from you, Random CBJ. But yeah, I think that that could be something nice. It'd be something cool. You know, I was just thinking AOA is the last girl group I saw with instruments. I haven't really seen any girl groups with instruments recently. And there's a lot of really talented people in K-pop. Like, there's a lot of really good artists and instrumentalists in K-pop that we don't actually get to see their talents unless it's on Variety. So I'm excited to see what JYP has to say. Hey, Jade, Happy New Year. But more than being excited about JYP's new girl group, let me tell you who I am bursting at the seams excited to see. I want to see SM's new girl group. I haven't heard much about them recently, but I just really want to see a new girl group from SM. You know, don't let it bypass you that of the girl groups on SM currently, at least 2 girl groups are hitting the decade mark. That's a lot. You know, when it comes to SM girl groups, they've got Girls' Generation, they've got FX, they've got Red Velvet. I'm talking about girl groups, because BoA's not a group. And with that in mind, that's high age for your girl groups. I mean, they've got some senior boy groups, but they've also got EXO, which is fairly young, and then they've got the NCT Corporation, which has varying ages in there. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to their guy groups, they've got Super Junior's a little bit older, SHINee's a little bit older, EXO's kind of middle ages in terms of K-pop groups, and then you've got these youngsters, which are NCT. But their girl groups are looking a little bit long in the tooth. And because of that, I think that it's time for them to put some new girl action out there. They need a big girl group. They need a big girl group. They need a fresh girl group. They need something that can bring back some of that energy that we have had from a Girls' Generation. I think it would be a bigger group. I think it would make sense for it to be a bigger group, only because I don't think they need to have any... They don't need to do to Red Velvet what they did to FX in terms of bringing in another smaller girl group that has a very similar look to the previous group and possibly a similar sound. So yeah, I want a girl group that has a fixed set of members. I'm going to put that on there. Woo! Yes, don't be NCT. We don't want a rotating cast of members. We want a set group of members. We want, you know, possibly 7 to 9 girls. I think I want 9 girls though. 7 to 9 girls, possibly 9 girls. And we want them to do the songs that are cute and quirky and fun and aren't necessarily in Red Velvet's full-time wheelhouse. You know, like, one of the things that Red Velvet doesn't really do, that SNSD was good for doing every once in a while, is doing like those really like sweepy, romancy, ballady type things. Yes, Red Velvet has their Velvet side and they do ballads, but their ballads tend to be a little bit more kind of on the R&B side maybe. Whereas I think this could be a group that could be like pure pop. And I think that's something that we don't have, is pure pop. I think Red Velvet's got a little too much of the stank on them, which I love. So yeah, Into the New World. You know, that would be really good for them. Or, you know, like, an I Got a Boy type of song, that's a song that's really made for a big group. So yeah. So let's go to the comments and see what I'm missing. 7-member. I thought they were going to do a new group soon. They had those girls with Mickey Mouse like a year or two ago. They kind of just vanished as NCT kept growing. Yeah, I remember the SM Disney Mickey Mouse thing. I never watched any of the episodes. They used to bring clips of it onto the SM Town channel, but I never followed any of that. But there were like a lot of girl trainees that got teased around the same time that they were teasing NCT members, and nothing ever came of it. Nothing ever came of it. And so that's why I'm just like, okay, where are they? Where are the girls? They're missing a market here. Gotta say, I'm tired of all the girl crush concepts. You know, girl crush concepts are not for everybody. I get that. You know, I get it. I like a girl crush concept. But I think the problem is that Korea only does one kind of girl crush concept. And I think there are multiple girl crush concepts that could be explored that would make the genre not so boring. Because when people think girl crush concept, they think mismatched clothing items. They think wild colors of hair. They think, you know, stockings with shorts and skirts and corsets and t-shirts and hats and gloves and hiking boots all together. The reason I'm bringing up the clothes is because, I mean, there's not a single girl crush concept I've seen that hasn't had like just wild clothing involved. But they think of that. They think of kind of, I don't want to say darker music, but definitely like more fast-paced, maybe a little bit more kind of either EDM based or R&B based. And that's the reason why girl crush is seen as kind of a negative or something that people don't want. Whereas schoolgirl concept is seen as lighthearted and fun, and it tends to be more poppy and peppy and not as many dark concepts, more kind of matching clothing, that kind of thing. But I think of a song like TT by Crush, and to me, that could be a girl crush concept. Hear me out on this. Follow me here. The song TT to me is not a cutesy song. It actually has a little bit of a bounce to it. It has a little bit of an ass shake to it when you really hear it. Like, especially if you have a good pair of headphones on, you listen to TT, the bass on that song, really, really nice. So you've got a song that doesn't fall into like the cutesy, Pepsi, Me Gustas 2, that kind of song selection. It's got a little bit more to it, but it's not a completely dark R&B based song either. And then the costumes and kind of the weird quirkiness of the video for TT, that the quirkiness is what I pair with girl crush, which is why to me Red Velvet, in my opinion, is a soft girl crush group. Like, they did have their very coordinated beginning days, like Happiness and Dum Dum, but then you look at things like Automatic, One of These Nights, Be Natural, Peekaboo, when they kind of quit doing the matchy-matchy thing and the quirky concepts became more of a focus. And that, to me, is girl crush. And that's why I say, if you look at a group like Red Velvet and you see the span of concepts that they do and the span of song selection that they do, there's room in there for a kind of girl crush that could really work, and that I think the public hasn't had a chance to really embrace because they haven't had a lot of it. And that's what I want to see. So let's go back to the comments here. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. I feel like once we get a new girl group, SM is going to toss NCT to the side, mark my words. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that happens. I love Girl Crush, but I feel like they're too trendy. Now I really liked I'm So Sick by A-Pink, though. Mark my words. I did see what you did there. Ha! Mark my words. Girl Crush usually goes for that whole wild child, tomboy, B-girl look. Yeah, typically Girl Crush is usually hip-hop, R&B based. Yeah, I can see what you mean. TT has enough kick to make it not super cute, so it makes it fairly girl crushy. I think Fingertip by G-Friend was a fresh take on Girl Crush while still being super true to the girlfriend concept. I agree. Thank you, Shine Baby Muse Me as well. They're probably brainstorming an NCT Girls Unit as we speak. Oh my gosh. If SM does NCT Girls Unit, I promise you, I not only won't buy their album, but I won't buy a single another NCT album. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. a lot of people have been really excited over WAVY, which I guess is the uh, Chinese version of NCT, but they're not being called NCT 368 or some other number like they were supposed to be. Instead, they're being called WAVY. I'm okay with WAVY. I'm excited for it being an opportunity for certain members of NCT to promote that haven't had a chance to promote heavily. But outside of that, I don't hold out a lot of hope for it. I'm waiting to see what happens with it because SM has been notoriously terrible to their Chinese members. Like, they're down kind of in the history books for like not making the Chinese member thing work out. The best outcome that they've had with a Chinese member so far has been the way that things have worked out with Lay. That's probably the best result SM has had because Henry is no longer a part of Super Junior M because he left the company. You never hear anything about Shumi anymore. So I guess that's another example of, you're still there, but not really. The Han Gang situation was terrible. The whole Chris, Tao, Luhan thing didn't work out. They had a soloist on SM for the longest time. She did a single with Onu like 10 years ago, like a long time ago. And nothing ever happened with her. Victoria, she's another example of maybe your best outcome. But usually when it comes to Chinese members of SM groups, it just never works out well. And that's the reason why I am hesitant to cheer too loudly for WAVY because, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's one of the things like when you've had your heart broken before, you're afraid to love again. I kind of feel that way about WAVY. Like I want them to do well. I really, really want them to do well. But I'm so worried that SM is going to fuck it up because they just have a habit of doing that. I don't know if it's internalized racism because there is a lot of bias in Korea against people from like China, Japan, and other Asian countries. Like that's a thing. So I don't know if it's internalized racism on a corporate level that prevents them from being fair to Chinese unit members. But yeah, I'm worried about it. I'm really, really worried about it. But I'm wondering if the reason why they're called WAVY too is because they have some kind of like contract in China specifically under this group name. Because, okay, so conspiracy theory, I put my hat on. When Chris and Luhan and Tao all left SM, they end up losing their cases in Korea, but winning their cases in China. Like something happened to her, like, they're still technically having to give money to SM, but they're not required contractually to promote with EXO or talk about EXO, but they're allowed to like mention in their promotional material that they are former members of EXO if they want to. And I think the reason why SM is doing the WAVY thing, this is conspiracy theory time. The reason I feel like they're WAVY in China is because they probably had these guys sign one contract for promoting as NCT in Korea and sign another contract in China for promoting as WAVY in China. And so that's what I think is going on, that they didn't want to tie up the name NCT in China because if there was ever a case, if somebody decided to leave the group, they didn't want to lose the use of NCT in China. So they said, instead of risking our copyright in China, let's come up with another name and then sign them under that name and create a whole Chinese contract so that that is a protected entity in case they decide they want to leave. So that's what my rationale is on that, because initially when they first announced the NCT concept, it was supposed to be that each of the different locational units were going to promote under that location's like latitudinal, longitudinal number, which is why we have NCT 127, because that was supposed to be like the Seoul unit. But then when they promoted in Japan, they didn't have a Japan number, and I was like, that's really weird. But they've never had any problem with like people defecting from SM and then having big careers in Japan. But with China, that's been an issue. So that's why I think that's why they didn't want to risk the NCT name in China. Instead, they wanted to do the Wavy name in China. So I missed a whole bunch of concepts. Let's go back. Victoria. Okay, so never forget how SM treated Hangang. Victoria seems to be the happiest Chinese member of a group from SM. Victoria's doing well in China too. Will Win-Win get lines? That's all I care about. Win-Win will probably not get lines as well as Kyun. It's crazy how SM just can't get it right when it comes to their foreign members. Like question mark. I'm scared of Wavy as well, to be honest, especially since SM was the first company to have a Chinese member. I think having them signed to a Chinese label is a step in the right direction. LOL, I want to be optimistic, but SM would probably give the new members lines before he thinks about everyone else. The internalized corporate racism is something I definitely wouldn't put past SM. OMG, you have your heart, how Luhan, Tao, and Chris have all started being friends again. I did hear about that. In fact, I saw a picture of like Chris and Tao hugging, I think, which that's so nice. Ugh. Be still my beating heart. SM always had good ideas and intentions when signing Chinese people, but horrible execution. Have you ever done a video of your album collection before? I discovered your channel when you did your review of G Market, LOL. I have a super old video of my album collection, but I need to do an updated one. One day I will do that, but it just requires a lot of editing because I can't. I would have to film it over the course of several days and then put the footage together, because at this point I'm pretty sure I have probably close to 300 CDs, probably more to be quite honest with you, and taking them all out of the shelves and then trying to record them one at a time. Even if I did it like fast speed, it would be personally exhausting for me to try to do that in one day. So probably it's going to have to be one of those things where like I film a portion of my Shiny collection and then a portion of my Japanese Shiny collection, and then a portion of my BTS collection, and then a portion that's just all the Red Velvet. So like it would have to be something like that at this point, because I literally just can't. I just can't. In fact, I haven't even done, has anyone done an inventory of their collection? Like, there are a lot of people that I associate with on Twitter and YouTube who are super organized people. May, I'm talking about you. I'm also talking about Emily. I'm also talking about Sana. But there are a lot of people that I've gotten a chance to know over my years on YouTube who are extremely analytical and extremely organized, and they have spreadsheets and they keep track of their collections and what's for trade and what's for sale and things like that. I don't do that. Like, I don't think about sales until it's time to sell. Like, I am that lazy bitch. And because of that, I have a tendency to not do well with knowing what I have. And I don't mean like I end up buying double, even though I did buy double on NCT's Cherry Bomb, but I digress. What I mean is, like, I know in general what I have. Like, my memory hasn't completely left me just yet. But if I had to like put together a collection of like all of my Girls' Generation CDs, the problem would be is I would think I had them all out there, and then I would remember I left one on the shelf, and then they wouldn't all be out there, because that happens to me all the time in videos because I'm not organized. In fact, I did my 2018 K-pop album tag review. I totally left out Taemin's Japanese album, and I have that. I have the fan club version. Didn't even put it in the video. I don't think I mentioned it. I don't think I counted it. Like, I'm bad like that, and because of that, it would take a lot for me just to write down all of the stuff I have and then take that and put it in an organized list so that I can present it to you. So that's that. I need to catch up on my stuff here. Okay. I think it's also because of the Korea and China conflict that's going on as well. True. That's the reason why all that stuff with, I think it's the Chinese Sea, there was a big issue with that, and that caused a lot of problems when Faye was promoting from JYP, and Chumi when he did his second release, and a lot of other stuff. Okay, no, but I need to. No, but I need to. I will never do it again. David, I get you. Collection videos are the worst. Mine's is literally in a storage bin, so yeah, LMAO. I once calculated how much I spent on my whole collection, and it made me kind of dead inside. It was a lot. No. I don't think I cannot I cannot organize it by price. Like that I cannot do, because as a mother, it would break my heart to know how much money I kept out of my baby's mouth and put on these shelves. Like I don't want to do that. But at the same time, I will tell you, when I first thought I had completed my Shiny collection, when I did all the numbers, I think at that time I had only spent about $600 and I wasn't feeling too bad about it. But now, baby, I just bought a CD on Zen Market for Shiny and I paid $80 for it. Like, I have no shame. I practically have no limits. I am an official mess. So with that being said, no, I don't want to see how much money I spent on stuff. Even though I know that some of these things I got really good deals on, I don't want to see that money. It takes me forever, and I don't know how many albums I have. I started a spreadsheet of my collection at some point in 2017 with notes like when bought it and from where, but I never finished. I kind of wish I did. It would be cool to look back on it. You know, I guess that would be cool. When I bought it and who I bought it from would be cool, but I don't want to see that money. Like I said, it would make me depressed. By the way, I got the Viviance album, and guess whose card I got? Lays. I only ordered it for him, and get his photo card. I was ecstatic, so happy. I'm so happy for you, Ian. That was one thing with the Vivance pet peeve, sidetrack. The fuck? 2 repackages, SM? What the fuck is going on? First of all, you have the initial album. It's got 3 covers. Lay's not in any of them photo books, not on any of them covers. I'm pissed off. So you're like, I got you. Tell you what, you want Lay so bad? I'm going to repack this album with no additional songs. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to include more of these OT9 photos in there. And it's going to cost you a little bit more. And it's a limited run. And you need to get it right now. And you have maybe a 1 in 9 chance of getting Lay's card if you do get it. Then I'm also going to repack this album with a whole nother set of songs on it and call it Love Shot. Fuck you, SM. Fuck you. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you take an album that you know you're going to repack, and instead of being like, you know what would be really nice? We'll do Love Shot, and we'll put Lay pictures in the Love Shot photo book, and won't that be special? Won't that be fun? Nope. Let's give you this weird kind of in-the-middle version of an album. Get all the fuck out of here. You're not going to rob me like that, SM. I'm not giving you that money. I would love to have that album, but unless somebody wants to start a GoFundMe, I'm not doing it. Let's see. Wait, Lay's new album has all of those versions? Question mark. Oh, you mean EXO's album? LOL. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you know, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you from the very beginning just put Lay's picture in the regular album? I mean, obviously you're Machiavellian and cruel, and that's why you would do this as a Christmas gift. But fuck, man. Not all of us have money like that. Ugh. I have no limits when it comes to 17. Pledis is milking my money. Yeah, I got you, girl. You know, 17 is not a group I collect as much as I would like to, because they actually have some songs I really, really like. But I think the reason why I've never been one to want to just like really get into collecting with 17 is because I still think about 17 Carat. To this day, that probably stands out as some of the worst K-pop packaging of all time. Like, oh my gosh. You know, I haven't done a worst K-pop packaging video in a while. I did a best K-pop packaging video, which was very fun to do. Lots of good things on there. But I haven't done a worst K-pop packaging video in a minute because, you know, we all have our pet peeves. Like, none of us like the slip cases over jewel cases. None of us like jewel cases just in particular when it comes to big 3 groups. We don't like albums in bags. We don't like shitty binding. But I have never, in all of my time in K-pop, had to learn fucking origami to be able to open and close a CD before. And that in and of itself makes that album legendary. Like, if you wanted to leave a first impression on somebody, you left a first impression with that. I will never forget that. I still have a copy. It's eternally for sale, but I never list it because I'm lazy. But yeah, like, to this day, legendarily bad packaging. Never seen anything like it. Hopefully I never will. Like, seriously, have you ever tried that packaging? I think when Jade was here this summer, I pulled it out for her so she could see it, because I'm like, you've never seen this before. I want you to have this experience because it's very important that you have this experience. And yeah, it just, I mean, it was ridiculous. Fucking origami. I don't want it. Okay, let's see what I missed here. It was a Christmas gift since EXO didn't have a winter album, aka money grab. Meanwhile, that means SM being cheap. I have no limits when it comes to 17, plus is milking my money. OMG, constantly praying for EXO-L's wallets. I still remember the day when Exodus was announced and all those versions were talked about. I was so done with collecting EXO after that, LOL. I know what you mean. And there were a lot of people on YouTube who bought full sets, Chinese and Korean. And I'm like, you are the MVP, because I could never and I would never. I'm excited for FNC's new girl group. It has Miss Thing, Haeyoon from Produce 48. I don't remember her very well, so I'm sure if I had a picture in front of me, I'd remember her, so I'm not sure. But FNC having a new girl group would be nice because they don't have many. They have a lot more boy groups than they have girl groups. So they could use that. 17 Carats packaging is truly horrible. Origami. I just had a flashback of all the versions of Exodus. LOL. The closest thing to origami packaging that I have is EXO's Mama. You know what? I forgot that EXO's Mama was like a folded up poster with a CD in the middle, and then you put it into a slipcase. That was shitty packaging too. I'm scared to open that one Dean album for this reason. You know, Dean's album is really not that bad. It's actually not bad. Jade, horrible experience trying to put that album back in Shutters. Reminds me of NCT's Limitless packaging, which was like a huge flimsy envelope stuffed to the gills with things that don't belong in an envelope. It should have been a box. Haeyoon was the one good at singing that wasn't Choan. I might remember her. I'm having a hard time. EXO's Mama is horrible packaging. They really thought they were doing something. EXO's Mama is funny to me. Like, hindsight being 2020, EXO's Mama is funny to me because it seems like such humble beginnings. Like, it's a paper sleeve with a poster shoved inside and like a CD inside this poster. And I'm sure tons of people got their CDs scratched the hell up because it wasn't very well put together. But yeah, that's one that I laugh because they've never done that again, thank goodness. But it's like, who thought that this was something to take seriously? Limitless was another album that I hated putting back in the packaging. Geez. Yeah, Limitless was terrible, but it's the flimsy nature of that envelope that really seals the deal for me. It is disgusting how flimsy that envelope is. Like, my copy, I've only opened and closed it maybe 3 or 4 times, maybe 4 times altogether. And I've got tears at the corners from the pressure of all the crap that's in that damn envelope. That's not fair. That's not fair when people pay so much money for things. Let's see. Shiny Sherlock packaging makes me so mad. I never ever take out all those booklets. I never want to go back in. You know how I do my Sherlock? What I do is when I take all my stuff out from my Sherlock packaging, I put in one book and I put it on the other side of the flap. Okay, for those of you who don't know, Shiny Sherlock packaging is kind of like a cereal box without a top flap. So the top is open, but the bottom of the box is like, it's like a flap, like a tucked in flap, but it's made out of hard plastic. And so when you try to put the books back in, the top of the flap prevents one of the books from going all the way down. So what I do is I put the book in front of the flap, and then I slide the other books in front of that one, and that's how I get all my stuff back into my Sherlock slipcase. So ever since I've started doing that, I've not had a problem with it. OMG, I forgot to ask you, but have you listened to Pinamiko's album? I just pre-ordered it. I have listened to Pinamiko's album. I too have pre-ordered it. It is wonderful. I also have Woogie's album coming. I'm very excited. They're both coming in the same package, and you guys will never believe where I ordered it from. I ordered both albums from K-Town for You. Shakira! You've got to be shitting me! You said you'd never order from them again. Okay, so you guys know I'm a huge K-hip hop head, and I go to great lengths to get my K-hip hop albums. That being said, I had a very limited draw from which I could find the Penamico and Woogie album, and it just happened to be that K-Town for You was the one place that had them both. And so I pre-ordered them from K-Town for You. They are now since sold out on K-Town for You. What the fuck is that? The cassette for Woogie's album was sold out before the CD was even. But yeah, I have them both coming. Penamico's album is beautiful. If you haven't heard it, you've got to listen to it. He's just so talented. He produces, he sings. He has a more nasally kind of high-pitched voice than what you'd expect from like Crusher Dean or whatever, but it works with the style of music he does, and I just really, really like it. So please listen to Garden. It's a great album, and yeah, there you go. Yes, I hope Choan gets to debut. I'm ready to stand. EXO's Mama was my first ever K-pop album, and I thought it was the best album packaging. Oh, that's so cute. And Miyu. Oh, yeah, I don't know what Miyu's next step is going to be. I think her grandfather died either during the finale of Produce 101 or right after the finale, and so she decided to take some time off, and that's why she left AKB48. And I don't know what her next plan is. I hope that somebody in Korea does take a chance on her. But again, that internalized racism, there's a good chance that maybe it wouldn't work out for her. She might decide to come back to another season of Produce, kind of work on her personality a little bit and try to conquer it there. Because I think the problem for her is that she has a very kind of like sedate personality, which doesn't work well on TV because Korea likes big personalities. So if she could kind of find a way to navigate the variety waters, I think she has a total chance of being a star in Korea. I tore my 17 karat album. LOL, I was so frustrated. Yes, Woogie, shook. I had my recent haul from them. Yeah, like, I don't normally buy from K-Town for You. So for those of you who haven't been with my channel for very long, let me tell you the reason why I don't normally buy from K-Town for You. Cold's single Poem is everything. I have Cold's album. That whole album is a jam. That whole album is a jam. It's called Wave, and I bought my copy from Choice Music. So they might still have some. I don't know, but that's where I bought my copy from. K-Town for You was a website I used to use all the time when I first started getting into K-pop. The first website I used to buy K-pop albums was actually Amazon. That was my first K-pop buying site. And then I discovered Catch Up CD kind of by accident because I was buying from Amazon, and they were one of the places that sold to Amazon K-pop albums, and that's when I started buying from them directly because they would put a slip inside of their packaging saying visit us at our website. But K-Town for You was a website that a lot of people were using because it used to be a website called, I believe, DVD Heaven, and the unboxing channels that I watched, most of the people on those unboxing channels would buy from K-Town for You, and the prices were cheaper than a lot of other people. The shipping at the time seemed very reasonable, so I bought a ton of my early stuff from them, and I was fairly happy. But chips in our relationship started to show with the release of MBLAQ's Be a Man album. And the reason why I say that the chips started to show there is because they actually had sold out of MBLAQ's album when it first came out. And this was my first time pre-ordering a BTS album. It was BTS's Dark and Wild. I had ordered the MBLAQ album and BTS's Dark and Wild in the same shipment. And it didn't ship for a long time. And I'm just like, the fuck? Y'all still haven't shipped this? What's going on? I inquire, that's when they tell me they've sold out of the MBLAQ CD, and that's why they didn't ship it. And then they go ahead and they ship my BTS album, but they ship it charging me the exact same shipping that I would have had for multiple albums for one album. And I'm just like, that's kind of some bullshit. Like, what the fuck is that? So I let that slide, but I'm unhappy, and I do mention that in the video. Then I order EXO's Love Me Right repackage, the Korean version. Now, I had ordered a Chinese version from another K-pop shop. I cannot remember where. I think maybe Yes Asia or maybe on eBay. I don't recall. But I ordered very specifically, it said it on my order details, everything. I ordered the Korean version from K-Town For You. I receive a Chinese version. The Chinese version I receive means that I have duplicate Chinese and no Korean version. I'm happy with that. I contact K-Town For You. I not only contact them via email, I send them a picture of both of the albums side by side to show them I now have duplicate albums because you sent me a Chinese album that I already own. I didn't want it. If you look at my order, you'll see I ordered Korean, so I'm not scamming you or anything like that. I'm just telling you what it is. What are we going to do about this? Their response was, we will let you keep the Chinese album for 30% off and you can buy the Korean album again. To which my answer was, the fuck you mean I'm going to pay for an album that I didn't order? I want the shit that I ordered, and if you don't want to fix this, we can go to PayPal about this, buddy. So they agreed to go ahead and send me the Korean album. And when they sent it to me, I promptly gave away the Chinese album on my channel as a giveaway. I didn't charge anybody for it. I didn't try to sell it for personal gain. I just gave it away. And I said I wasn't ever going to order from K-Town For You again. And I have been really good about not ordering from them for the past several years. Like, it has been literal years since I've ordered anything from them. But lately, I have just been having really bad luck with all of my go-tos. And with that being said, I felt like, okay, it looks like I'm down to almost no choices. I'm going to have to use them. And that's the reason why I used them this time. But I really wasn't planning on using them because I'd had such horrible experiences with them previously. So let me read some of these comments. Do you think it was cheaper to buy K-pop albums back in the day compared to now? Yes, absolutely. The shipping was way cheaper. Same, I pre-ordered Pinamiko from Music Choice and Woogie from Yes Asia, and I believe Yes Asia still has the Woogie cassette. If they still have the Woogie cassette, I'm going to order it. I will say, I think their customer service has gotten better. Anytime I ordered something that was out of stock or that was recalled, they would send me multiple emails to ask what I wanted to do. That's good. That's definitely an improvement because it used to be like you had to ask them, hey, what's the holdup? Why aren't I getting my things? And then they'd be like, oh yeah, well, this is what's going on. And their customer service system was really weird. Like, you couldn't go to the order and open up a customer service window on the order. You had to copy the order number, go to like the customer service form, put in your order number, and then have your question. And then they wouldn't respond to you on that form's page. Instead, they would send you an email to answer your question. It was funky. And, you know, I still have my qualms about K-Town For You. Like, I don't like the fact that K-Town For You doesn't offer tracking for small airmail and K-Packet, because I know for a fact they can. You know, I've bought CDs from several other vendors straight from Korea, and anytime I've done K-Packet or small airmail, there's always been a tracking number. So I don't know if they do this to push people into using FedEx and EMS as their preferred shipping method, but I think that personally that's a scam. And if I don't get a package from K-Town For You that I'm supposed to get, best believe I'm going to ignore all that bullshit about no tracking number, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell PayPal, hey, tracking is available for that. The fact that they choose not to use it is none of my concern. Where's my merchandise or my money? So, just want to put that out there. I miss Korean Mall and their free shipping. They got taken advantage of so badly, though. Korean Mall did get taken advantage of. I think K-Mall 24, they took advantage of themselves, because I remember K-Town 24 had like these cheap albums that you could buy like within an hour. And the thing, okay, so this is the thing. I believe it was K-Mall 24. I hope I'm remembering this correctly. They would have these specials like every night or every weekend where at exactly 8 o'clock, they would put an album for sale for like $5 and free shipping. And they would do that, and then I would in turn order that album for super cheap, and I wouldn't order anything else. But I didn't do that because I was trying to scam the company. I would do that because if you didn't check out immediately after you put this thing in your cart, it was liable to get sold out and taken out of your cart. So at that point, the promotion really didn't work very well because you want people to buy more stuff, but you don't like reserve the quantity so that they can do additional shopping and get this special item. Instead, you make it to where all I want is this cheap item. And so they quit doing it after a while because they were just getting taken advantage of. Let's see. Hell yeah, albums were so much cheaper back then. Plus, there were 100 versions of albums like it is now. Speaking of album purchases, to everyone here who can see this, if you know of a place that's offering a green version of Key's Face, let me know, LOL. They have tracking for K-Packet. They put the number on your invoice. Now, see, Emily, they might put the number on your invoice, but when you go to order in the order screen, and I'll screenshot this eventually one day, it always says tracking is not available. It always says that without fail. If you're logged in, not logged in, whatever, it always says tracking is not available for these shipping options. So that's why I say it's a scam. It's a scam to try to bully you into shipping it for more expensive when they know tracking is available. They just want to play these games with you because they want you to buy the more expensive tracking. Okay. Everywhere I've been to is currently sold out of it. I don't know. You might try Yes Asia. Sometimes they do versions. I wish that Catch Up CD was open. I told you I was going to get back to that in a minute. I will. I remember Korean Mall once had a limited edition album that was usually $45 and they mistakenly listed it as $9 and I snatched it up so fast. Hell yeah. Just checked Yes Asia for the cassette and they have it in stock right now. When this is over, I will be over there at Yes Asia. K-Mall 24 mega deals were nuts. I think for K-Town For You, the tracking number may not work for certain countries, but it works for the US. I pre-ordered TVXQ's 15th anniversary album and the tracking works. I think Yes Asia does the same thing, like says no tracking available, but they still give a tracking number, LOL. I've never had Yes Asia tell me no tracking number is available, but I know with them, like they only have a certain type of shipping that they do for you to get the free shipping. So like if the free shipping is buy $50, get free shipping, there's only a certain level of shipping they're going to do for you to get that free shipping. So that's why I say like I've never really paid attention to it because it's free shipping. And yes, they do build in the cost of the shipping with the cost of the albums because there's albums on Yes Asia that cost $18.99 and you go to another website and it might be $13.99, so that additional $5, if they get enough of that, that kind of pays for the shipping. But at the same time, you know, depending on what it is, sometimes it's worth it. Like there's a lot of K hip hop stuff I bought from Yes Asia. I just couldn't get it anywhere else. And so I'm like, you know, even if I have to pay a little bit of a premium, it's worth it to me because I'm getting it nowhere else. The only other place to get some of this stuff is on Gmarket. And with Gmarket, they only give you the EMS shipping option. I'm not trying to play those games. I'm not some type of group order leader. You know, I can't afford to do that. If I want, I tried to price the Woogie cassette on Gmarket. I'm like, you know what? Let's be chill. Let's try to do something a little bit different. Let's give it a second chance. Got on Gmarket. I put the cassette in my cart. The cassette was like $7. Do you know that subtotal was $40? Because that shipping, that EMS shipping was like $33. That's why I say, like, you know, you get very limited when it comes to where you can shop at. And so sometimes if I have to pay an extra $5 for something, I'm willing to do it if it's a premium item. Okay, let's keep going with the comments. I honestly believe that the economy shipping is such a ripoff with these sellers because they don't understand why they can't give numbers for that kind of shipping. Because I don't understand why they can't give numbers for that. I don't understand either because it has shipping numbers on it. I mean, I've had photo cards that tracked on cheap shipping. So you can't tell me it's not an option. I think there would be some more solid places to buy albums from. I wish there would be, me too. The cheaper options do have tracking for Canada. It says it's only unavailable for the US in checkout. Okay, see? All right, OMG. Lately, I've just been buying from Amazon Japan for albums, Korean and Japanese. They tend to discount certain Korean albums after a month or so. That's an option, you know, and like, of course, Zen Market has become my new best friend. I found so many like cheap albums there and I've been like, you know what? even if I have to pay another $3, it still kind of works out for me. So it's really not that bad. So it just depends. Like Taman's Moving, I think I got that on Zen Market for like $10. And then and that's including shipping. And then with the $3 service fee for Zen Market, ended up being $13 brand new unopened. And I was already ordering a package from them anyway, so shipping wise, the shipping was negligible. So it ended up coming out almost the same or maybe a couple of dollars cheaper. Even K-Pop Market 01 on eBay has gotten expensive as well. I was wondering about that because I noticed that May buys a lot of her albums on K-Pop Market 01. And I was wondering, is like that because they're so cheap? Because when I looked at their stuff with shipping, it was high. But I mean, I don't like buying a lot of my stuff on eBay, to be quite honest with you, because I find eBay to be more expensive because all the sellers on eBay have to pay the eBay commission. So the stuff is just never really that cheap in order for them to make a profit. Zen Market is great for lots of things, but it's hard to not go too crazy. That is true. That is true. Like, I wish that Zen Market still let you buy from Mercari using their services, because Mercari really is like my preferred Japanese venue. I feel like their prices are the most fair, but because it is a flea market site, which meaning that it doesn't have as much regulation or oversight as Yahoo Auctions, it puts Zen Market in a bad position if they were to order something from Mercari and it didn't come through correctly. But yeah, Mercari is definitely, it's hard to beat the prices on Mercari. There's been some stuff that showed up on Mercari that I'm just like, I need to buy this right away before anybody else discovers this is here, because this is something I need right now. Like, that's happened to me more than once with Mercari. And that's the reason why I use Japonica, because it's really the only place that I've trusted so far to be able to buy things from Mercari. But yeah, Zen Market, some of them deals on there are just unbelievable, especially if you're talking about like Japanese stuff. Prior to discovering Zen Market, I never understood where people got their fan club editions of certain K-pop act albums. So like, I remember May used to get a whole bunch of her fan club Elf stuff. And I'm like, where is she getting it from? How is she ordering that? And she would always talk about how expensive it is. Well, ever since getting on Zen Market, like, I order fan club shiny stuff all the time, and the prices are just like super fair compared to what you get on a group order, and especially compared to what you get on eBay. I've overpaid for so much Japanese stuff on eBay before discovering Zen Market. It's not even funny. Like, a lot of those costs I could have if I had the opportunity to, based on just where I'm buying it from. And forget ordering Japanese stuff from some of these K-pop album places. Like, I would never order a Japanese album from kpoptown.com, because they easily charge you twice the price of the album just because it's convenient for you to be able to ship your K-pop stuff and your Japanese K-pop stuff together, you know? So yeah, it's a scam. And that's why it's really nice that myself and several of the people that I associate with try to give you guys the ins and outs and different places where you can find the best deal, because the shipping has gotten outrageous, album prices have gotten really high, and with different like shipping strikes and stuff like that, it's very difficult to be able to know what's the best place to source your material from. So there you go. I learned my lesson on those box of albums that I bought. Yep. Japanese stuff on eBay is a total scam. Honestly, the M-Wave signed albums are so worth it to me. It's like $4 extra for a signed album I would have bought anyway. Hell yeah. M-Wave has gotten so expensive lately, especially buying multiples in a group order. I've always wanted to try M-Wave. I just never took a chance. It has been a long time since I've tried to buy anything from M-Wave. So for those of you who are new to buying from M-Wave, M-Wave has changed. I remember when I was first ordering stuff on M-Wave, you could not only buy just signed stuff, but before they had their affiliation with K-Mall, you could buy like regular albums on M-Wave as well. Now it's just all signed stuff. And it's really nice that you can do that, but because it's a signed album, you may pay $4 more for the album, or maybe even, $10 more, which is not bad, because you take an album that's normally $14, you have to pay $24, but it's signed by all the members or signed by one member. Not too bad. But then you pay like premium shipping and you have to wait months for this stuff to come in. That kind of sucks. That kind of really sucks. They have normal albums too now. They switched sites recently. So they switched away from Kmall because for a while, I think they were using Kmall 24 as their regular album place. But it used to be that like M-Wave had their own regular albums. And then they did this thing where they like sold all of their regular albums. I remember this very well because M-Wave used to sell regular albums, and at the end of the year you could buy a lucky box from M-Wave, and the lucky box would have like regular album, maybe a piece of like official merchandise, and a random signed whatever that was left over from the group, the signed things. And because hindsight is 2020, I remember the year that BTS came out, their very first summer package, the big blue box. Apparently, BTS was not popular then because they were a rookie group. So they had like all these leftover summer packages signed by all the members. And there were multiple people on YouTube unboxing their M-Wave lucky boxes and were getting these huge signed BTS summer packages and like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to sell it because I don't know this group. Man, hindsight being 2020, I wish I had snapped those up because some of those people got those lucky boxes with these signed summer packages for BTS before like they were really known to anybody, and we're selling them for like $10 and $15 just because this wasn't the group that they were into. Do you know how hard I could flip that today? Like, I hate to be one of those people who's like scamming the public, but at the same time, a minimum of $100 for an all-member signed first-year summer package. Just saying. Just saying. M-Wave used to have free shipping after, I think, $50. I don't know if they do. If they still do. Also, M-Wave have gotten faster at shipping now for some groups since they let groups just pre-sign a bunch of albums before they put them on sale. They need to do that. You know why they had to do that, though? I'll tell you. It's because of Secret. Secret is the reason. And not even Secret, it's TS Entertainment. They're the real reason why this pre-signing shit had to happen. There were people who ordered signed Secret albums for Secret Summer, and it took those albums, I want to say, between 6 to 8 months to ship out to people. And during that time, you can imagine what a worry this was for customers, because 6 to 8 months, somebody could move in that time. If you're expecting something to ship to you in maybe 2 months, you prepare for that. Nobody's expecting it to take almost a fucking year to ship to you. And I think after that, M-Wave was like, you know what, we've got to do something different. We've got to do something better. Also, M-Wave have gotten faster at shipping now for some of the groups. Okay. I regret not buying BTS's from M-Wave, let me tell you. Geez, 6 to 8 months. Yeah, 6 to 8 months. I'm telling you, if you look back on M-Wave Secret Summer signed albums, it was 6 to 8 months before people got their signed Secret Summer albums. And after that, it was just like, no, nobody's doing this. Nobody's got time for that. I've lived a whole new life. I've had a baby since then. Like, nobody's doing that anymore. And also, shout out, I bought one of those BTS Greatest Moment in Life episode win albums. My copy is signed by Ratmon. It's beautiful. I love it. It was well worth the wait. It is an experience that will probably never happen again because I can't afford to buy signed BTS stuff at this point in time, but it was really nice. I got my bias on the first go round. Okay, I recently bought one signed Stray Kids album from M-Wave, and shipping was fairly quick. I feel like shipping fees were higher than before. I hadn't bought from them in like 2 years, though. That's true. I think that they do expedited shipping, and that's the reason why the shipping costs more. My G-Friend M-Wave album took like 6 months to get to me. It was so stressful. Yeah, nobody has time to wait a half a year for stuff to come through. It's one thing to be like, okay, the album came out last month, and I didn't get it for a month. That makes sense. That's a reasonable wait time. Even 2 months, it might be okay. But 6 months, 6 to 8 months, get out of here with that bullshit. Nobody's got time for that. Nobody has time for that. Ain't nobody had time for that. Like, seriously, like, in terms, like I said, in terms of life situations, you never know where someone might actually be in 6 to 8 months, which is another reason why I don't really like group orders all that much for, like, random shit. I did my video about There May Not Be Your Friends, which, by the way, I'm having trouble with my notifications. Apparently, people left comments on that video, and I never got notifications for it, so I need to go back and answer all of those. But I digress. But yeah, if I do a group order with you, and you're group ordering pens or dolls or some other shit like that, and it takes 6 months for you to get the product finally finished, in 6 months, who knows where I'll be, what I'll be doing. And then 6 months later, you're like, and by the way, I'm sending you another invoice for the shipping and all this other stuff too. I might actually not even be interested in that shit no more. I might be ready to tell you you can keep it because I'm just so done. So that's why I don't like that. It takes a while to corral all the idols to get them to sign the albums, apparently. If I can leave a tip on buying albums, do not buy them at KCON. They are unnecessarily high. They always are high. Anytime you go to any kind of specialized event, everything is marked up. The only thing that's not marked up is like official merchandise sold by the company that makes the merchandise. I had an album that was taking forever. I think it was from Speed, and they sold out on the other album I ordered with it and had to cancel it. It was super annoyed with M-Wave for a while. P.S. Please, I'm still waiting for the items I ordered from 2016, 2017 from group orders. Nope. If I'm waiting, it is now 2019. If you're waiting on something from a 2016 group order, consider it lost. Consider that money lost. Just feel like you tripped over a pothole and the money fell out your wallet because you're not getting that shit. You're not getting it. And there's no excuse for that. Like, that's the other thing too. Like, that's the reason why I did the They May Not Be Your Friends video, because we expect more from the people that we feel like are in a similar boat as us. Like, we're all fans. We all want to support. You know, we all like things. So, you know, you'd think that we do each other better because we're kind of a marginal group or a niche group. But instead, it's like, no, it's people taking advantage. They know you don't have access. They know you want access to products. And that's the reason why they sell you the opportunity and then just ghost. They flake. Yeah, I mean, I remember a lot, but that's because I'm old, so everything is a memory at this point. A few months back, probably in February or March of 2018, I had asked some people in a group chat whether or not I should buy this Jonghyun doll from a group order. The person who was doing the group order was also the person making the doll. Keep that in mind. They are the one making the doll. They were from the US and they were in charge of the US group order. I wanted to order that doll because it wasn't an official product or whatever, but it had like She Is clothes and it had, I think, an outfit from Poet Artist or the outfit from the Hallelujah stage. I cannot recall, but it was really cute and it had a lot of nice things that I think it was going to be around $50, which wasn't too bad. And, you know, Jonghyun had just passed a few months prior, so I was really excited about getting this doll. I go to their form, and it shows on their form they're only doing the payment friends and family. Immediately, red flags go up because I'm not ordering from a group manager who's ordering from a designer who's ordering from a manufacturer. I'm ordering this directly from the designer who's going to get it manufactured. And I DM the person. I say, hey, can I pay it goods and services, and I will just pay the goods and services fee. She didn't even write me back. She's like, it's friends and family only. And that was it. That was the end of the conversation. Nothing else. And it was just like, you won't even entertain it if I agree to pay the fees? That makes no sense to me. Like, why are you being like this? And because of that, I was just like, it threw me off of the whole group order thing. Well, fast forward to December of 2018. Remember, I told you this happened around February, March. December of 2018, that same person is still running that shipment. Hasn't gotten a doll yet. Has gotten some pre-production photos. Hadn't gotten a single doll shipped to nobody. Still running orders for that. So here we are almost a fucking year later. And not a single fucking doll has been sent to anybody. And, you know, I dodged a bullet for sure because I would have just lost that money. But yeah, it is one of those things where what recourse do you have? What recourse do you really have? So you gotta watch for these snakes out here. Okay, I ordered my William Solo concert light stick from a group order and got that shit like 2 weeks after his concert. I was so happy. She should have just sold the dolls on eBay. I agree. I had some horrible experiences with geo managers in the past. Some I've dealt with for a long time and really trust, but you always got to be cautious. That's true. And you know, it sucks because the ones that have been doing it for a long time that you can trust, it's nice to be able to order from them. But everybody's got to start somewhere. So because of people who have been scam artists and cheats and crooks, if you're an honest person trying to start a geo, it's very hard to get people to want to order from you because you don't have any experience. So people are like, well, I don't want to order from you because I don't see where you've been successful in the past and I don't want to get scammed. So it builds a lot of bitterness. Shawwall 5, when Nuis W did their first comeback, she wanted to do a group order for their album. And I think she only had like maybe a handful of people who did it because it was her first group order. I ordered from her because I know her personally and I could vouch for her character. So I wanted to make sure I ordered from her just so she could kind of build up her clientele to show people she's honest and she'll get you your stuff on time and she'll really come through. And so that's what I did. And she's had a couple of group orders since and she's done very well. But I mean, she's not a big group order manager, but enough to where people trust her and they feel good with placing orders with her. But it had to start somewhere. But because there's so many scammy ass people out there, it's hard to start as a geo manager because people have been burned and they're gun shy. They're really afraid of being taken advantage of. Let's see here. I wanted to group order like 2 days ago for something from China to save on shipping, and Chick told me it was going to be $50 shipping. I could order it on my own for about $25 to $35. Always check yourself first. Wait, so is there any place with cheap shipping? K&K is coming back, and since they're my alt, I want to buy a ton of shipping, but shipping is going to kill me. I mean, if shipping is really that big a deal, then, you know, buy from Yes Asia because they do free shipping. But yeah, there's no place that has like super cheap shipping. You might try Kmall 24. They might, every once in a while, Kmall 24 will run a free shipping deal, but not very often. But you just keep checking back every once in a while. OMG, there was this infamous Infinite fan site who scammed a whole lot of people out of fan site goods and then became a Jungkook fan site. I'll never forget that snake. Oh, man. Ooh. Ugh. You know, it's bad enough that you scam me out of my money for the group I like, but that you use that money to in turn promote yourself in another fandom, that's just raggedy. That's just really super raggedy. And I mean, it's not, I don't have anything against either group. I don't have anything against Infinite. I definitely don't have anything against BTS. I spent too much money on them to have anything against them. But it would really bother me in my soul if you took my money so that you could become a big wig in another fandom. Like, I'm like, bitch, consider this a payday loan and I need my 20% interest. This, you can't have this money. Oh, man. Oh, I would be so mad. And you know what made me even angrier is that if, as a fan site master, this person became popular in their community, because I would be mad at the people who decided to like bang with this person knowing that they scammed a whole nother group of fans out of their money. Because what makes you think this bitch is gonna be loyal to you? Just, they did this to me. What makes you think they're gonna be loyal to you? They don't know you like that. They could do anything. So yeah, I would be beyond mad. I would be ready to fight somebody. I'd be ready to engage in fisticuffs. I know that, like, oh no, this happened with an EXO member fan site too. It's a well-known Jungkook fan site. Ah, that's bullshit. Yeah, I would, if I paid goods and services, I would definitely try to get my money back. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. But if I was like in Korea and this happened to me and they were in Korea, I would sue them. Like, flat out. I would call the cops and I would sue them. Because you can sue for stuff like that in Korea. You can't really sue as much around here when it comes to friends and family option, but over there you can. I know that, like, there was a bunch of BS about a BTS group order manager who, like, was an insane person. Apparently, they were doing a bunch of group orders for BTS albums, and they used the money to go to, like, BTS concerts, And I think they were also like telling everybody that they were like secret lovers with J-Hope or something. Like it was something super random, and it was really embarrassing to me at the time, even though like I'm not involved in any of this stuff, but it was embarrassing to me because it was also somebody who was African American, or at least portrayed themselves as African American, and for them to be telling all these lies and being a scam artist, I'm like, this makes it look bad for those of us who are African American K-pop fans, because already we kind of occupy a bit of a like shaky ground in the K-pop fandom. And I know you're like, what do you mean? So a lot of people think that African American K-pop fans are fetishist, that we like fetishize Asian men because black men don't want us anymore, so we've moved on to Asian men because that's our only option. And there's all these AMBW couples on YouTube and fan sites and stuff like that. Like there's a whole fan fiction website just based on stories about black women with like Asian idols. And because of that, like we kind of get a bad name, even though like we're really great fans. Like we are really great fans, but yeah, we get kind of a bad name because of that stuff. And then also there's being a minority, we're not a majority in terms of like any population. So just being a basic minority, we get a lot of flack for it. And then you have issues like the whole Cupcake thing and her being super sexual, and people saying, oh, that's an example of black K-pop fans and how trash they are. And it's always hard as a black K-pop fan to not be seen as somebody who has moved on to K-pop because they're not accepted in other genres, because they're a reject from every other culture. That's kind of that's the best way to put it. A lot of people think that black people who are into Asian media, who are into Asian fandoms, do that because of fetish or because we're not good enough to be involved in other popular cultures. And so we kind of already have a stigma attached to us whenever we go to anime conventions or we go to Comic-Cons or we decide to be into K-pop. Like it's difficult for us. It's difficult building a friendship base. It's difficult to be taken seriously. And because of that, whenever somebody who looks like me or is a part of my ethnic makeup does something shady and shitty, it makes me feel bad personally because it's one more black mark on my name. Just like being a Shawwal and having shiny fans say bad things about Onu, it makes me look bad as a Shawwal. And that's the reason why like it hurts my heart whenever I see stuff like that, because I know a lot of African American fans who work really hard being fans, who work really hard in disseminating information, who work really hard as GO managers, who work really hard to do translation services. Like I remember there was like a clip I saw on TV. Was it TV? What was it? Or maybe YouTube, I forget what it was. It was a clip I saw where they were interviewing people outside of Citi Field when BTS did their concert there. And there were a group of African American K-pop fans who did like a canned food drive for BTS to show support for the community that was hosting the concert. Stuff like that very rarely gets acknowledged, whereas us saying something nasty, like sexually explicit about an idol, that is the stuff that gets propped up, and that's the stuff that people use as an example of black K-pop fans being disgusting. Like when Miles J did his Luna prolapse video, a lot of people were like, oh, look at disgusting black gay K-pop fans. And it's just like, fuck, and it was a joke. It was a joke parody video, but it's just like, fuck. Back to square one, So I don't know. That was a sad tangent I didn't mean to be on, but I think it needs to be said because we act like us being K-pop fans puts us outside of politics and race and other things that affect us in our home countries, but that's not true. People bring those same biases they have for regular pop music or regular domestic media into international media, and the same biases they have there, they have when they're dealing with K-pop. And there's a lot of K-pop fans who come from conservative backgrounds or come from racist backgrounds, and they take those same beliefs and they bring them into the K-pop fandoms. A fan site did that to 17 and turned into a boys fan site after she scammed and called 17 members ugly and ungrateful. That's shitty. That you don't have to do that. You don't have to. You know, sometimes you can grow out of things. Like, real talk. As a shallow, there's a lot of fan sites that have retired. That they aren't active anymore. A lot of them because they got married, they had kids, they got full-time jobs. Like, a lot of stuff like that happens. But you don't have to shit on your previous fandom in order to be able to show your loyalty or your willingness to be a part of another fandom. Like, those two things aren't mutually exclusive. Like, you can be supportive of your previous fandom and cherish the good times you had with them, and also be a valuable asset to the fandom you're moving to. Like, you could totally do that. And I think it says more about your character to do something like that. It says more about your character to decide that I want to gracefully bow out of this fandom and move quietly and peacefully into another fandom. But the people who make a big stink and are really shitty and stuff like that, those are people with insecure personalities. Like, it's more than just, I don't like the fandom anymore, I don't like the group anymore. I think it's more about this person, there's something wrong with them on the inside. And because there's something wrong with them on the inside, they externalize that pain and they decide to lash out. You know, hurt people. And that's what that type of stuff is really about. That's the truth. Somebody said, what do I think about K-Buzz being exposed? I know nothing about that. Somebody's going to have to fill me in because I don't really look at a lot of trash sites, so I have no idea. K-Buzz is something I don't even know anything about. Those fans who are rude to idols to their face are truly wild. I can't imagine. First of all, let me tell you, as much as I may seem outgoing on YouTube, I'm actually quite shy and I'm an introvert in like real life. If I was to meet an idol like face to face, I would have a hard time actually coming together with language skills. Like, I think all the time about, like, what would it be like to meet, you know, maybe Minho or Rapmon or something and have an opportunity to, like, do a song recommendation. These are what the old lady fantasies are that I have. I'm like, I wonder if I could pass on an album to BTS. You know, like, that's the stuff that I think about. But I know for a fact it would never work out for me because I am too shy for that. Like, I would be... like, that would be me at a fan sign. Like, it just wouldn't work. That, or I'd be that, like, you always see those girls at fan signs who are like, here you go, and they always have their heads down. That would be me. Like, facts, that would be me. Because I'm not gregarious in that way. So to have the audacity to, like, get up and just start hollering at people, I don't know that life. I don't know that life at all. I wonder what happened to Hello Venus. Well, I think they probably had company issues, and that's the reason why they don't promote. Some guy went to an AOA fan sign and told Mina that she should work on her singing and made her cry. I was so mad. Again, like, something's wrong with you. For you to do something, something's wrong with you. One, for you to feel like you have enough authority that you can tell somebody what they need to do with their life. That, you know, I'm such an expert on singing and talent that I can tell you now, you're not cutting it. No. I basically did that at an FT Island fan sign, LOL. Just said hi and let them sign my album. Was a little hard to look at them in the eye. Haha. I mean, it's true. Like, I have been in the same room with Minho twice. I went to the SHINee fan sign, or fan event that they did in Dallas, and I went to SHINee Road 5 in Dallas. And both times, I screamed like a little girl in a horror movie. Like, I lost my shit. And I'm, you know, several yards away from the idols, but still, like, I screamed like the world was about to end and I was watching it fall before my eyes. Like, I could not contain the screams. I had videotapes of me not containing the screams. But yeah, as broken apart as I was, just to be in the same venue as Minho, going up to a table where he's just right there, where I could probably tell what he smells like, no, I don't have that in me. I don't have it in me to be able to be like, and by the way, this dish shit, you might need to work on your rapping. Like, no, it wouldn't be me. It couldn't be me. Didn't something happen with Priston where they told the members she should just stop singing at a fan sign? I don't know. Priston's had so many problems. You know, Kayla, I heard she's working at like an amusement park now, and like people have gone up to her at her job at the amusement park and been like, "What the fuck are you doing here, fatty?" Like, it's just, again, this ownership idea that fans have about idols, these are real people. And if you wouldn't go up to like a random person with a guitar singing on the side of the road and tell them, you sound like shit, you need to be better, then what makes you think you have the right to do that to this person? Like, why wouldn't you afford them the kind of common decency that you would with somebody else? But again, the people that show up to fan signs, a lot of the time, in order for you to get into a fan sign, you have to buy a lot of albums, or you have to spend a lot of money buying a fan sign pass from somebody. So some of these people feel like, okay, well, I've paid my money, so I've got a right to behave badly. And that kind of falls back in with our K-drama lesson of money equals morality. I have a right to tell you what to do and behave like an ass because I spent a lot of money on you. And that's not true. Fuck that. Someone told Jiho from Twice that she should be a wrestler and also almost made her cry. How can people be so rude? Now, it would have been funny if you had said, you should be a wrestler because you have really strong arms and I could see you totally taking down other female idols. Like, that would be funny to me. I remember one time that a guy told a Sun and Moon member to stop smoking because her voice was, and then she clapped back at him. Well, that is rude. Unless he saw her smoking. He's like, I'm concerned for your health. Please stop smoking. Her voice was bad. Okay, there you go. That's rude. That's rude. But again, you spend money, you feel like you own people, and that's not true. You can't own a person. You know, you can't even come close to owning a person just because you spent money on them. Oh, sad facts. Sad days. Oh man, I remember a crazy Infinite H fan sign where a fan sent Hoya a note and basically told him he should be grateful to see fans at the airport and he should leave the group and he's ungrateful. He did end up leaving the group. Not saying that that note did the trick, but I mean, I'm just saying. And then Hoya snapped at the end of the fan site and said he's doing his best and he loves his fans. Oh, poor baby. Yeah, you never know. You know, I have to say, fan sites, I'm going to tell you a pet peeve of mine. LOL, when I got to do the group picture with Crush, I was literally shaking. I was so close to him. I've been a fan of his since 2012. I would have died. I would have died doing a high touch with Crush. Like, first of all, I have so many imaginary conversations to have with Crush. Like, those would have gone through my mind and it would have froze me from speaking. Like, I have so many times where I want to ask Crush, like, what's your favorite Earth, Wind, and Fire song? I know that you are a classically trained jazz pianist, so can you tell me what are your favorite pieces? What is it about Chet Baker that you love so much? Have you ever listened to Conversations with Myself? That's one of my favorite jazz albums, especially the Spartacus Love song. Like, okay, I'm going too far into the tangent, but just to say, I have a lot that I would love to say to Crush. The sound I would make would be and then head down. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Just thinking about it, like, gives me the tingles. So at this point, I've now been on live stream for almost 3 hours, which was unintentional. I'm not sure if I want to leave this live stream up. I need to, though. I need to leave this live stream up. I should find a reason to leave this live stream up. I know the reason I'll leave this live stream up. I'll leave this live stream up because I need to do a giveaway. Sorry. I'm enjoying my favorite new healthy snack. Almond clusters with cranberries and cashews. This is what it looks like. It's beautiful. It's perfect. It's wonderful. Everybody needs to buy this. I bought it at Sam's Club. Anyway. I need to do a giveaway. I haven't done one in forever. I find myself in possession of several extra albums. I have an extra copy of the BTS single for Fake Love, Airplane Part 2 in the Japanese edition. I have extra Love Yourself albums. I have extra SHINee episode 1, 2, and 3 Story of Light albums. Let me announce the giveaway right now. So the giveaway, you have until the end of January 31st, I believe, to enter the giveaway. The giveaway is on this video alone. In the giveaway here, I would like you to tell me about your worst fan experience or your best fan experience. I don't really care what fandom you're talking about. I just want to hear your stories because I like storytelling. It's one of my favorite things. I listen to NPR and podcasts for that very reason. Tell me your story. Then you'll have your choice of either a set of Love Yourself Her albums, not her, Love Yourself Her, Tear, and Answer. So you'll get one copy of each, used, gently used. This is open for US APO address in Canada only. Sorry, international fans, but international shipping is a bitch. You have your choice of getting either one of those three, or one set of those three, or you will get a set of SHINee's Story of Light, which is episode 1, 2, and 3. You won't get the epilogue. Sorry, I don't have an extra copy of the epilogue. Again, gently used. Or you can get the BTS Fake Love Airplane Part 2 Fan Club Edition, but without the fan club inserts. Plus, I will throw in a copy of Run. I think I have an extra copy of Run I'll throw into as well. So you have your choice of the 2 Japanese BTS singles, either the 1, 2, 3 set from the Love Yourself series or the 1, 2, 3 set from SHINee's episode Story of Light, episode 1, 2, 3. Again, just got to answer in the comment section down below. Have to live in the United States or at an APO address or in Canada. I will ship to you because I have these things in my possession. I won't send a photo card to a girl in Italy and it cost me $14 shipping. I'm not sending 3 albums around the world. But yeah, leave your comment below. I'll choose my favorite comment. I'll choose my favorite comment. I'm not going to do a random draw. I'll choose my favorite comment. Don't get wild and lie. Like, you know, give a real story. Choose my favorite comment. Pick a winner. So that's how I'm going to end this video. Thank you guys for watching. This has been my TED Talk. Just kidding. That's such an old meme. I'm an old lady pulling out the old memes for y'all. But anyway, thank you again for watching. I appreciate you. Buy these baked almond clusters. This is amazing. It's delicious. And, you know, take care of yourselves, guys. It's a cruel, awful world out there. And the fact that you survived this far in 2019, already you're ahead of the game. Keep it pushing. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.